There is victory for us. There is victory for us. In the struggles of APC, there is victory for us. For us, oh yes. For us, oh yes. In the struggles of APC, there is victory.
Good evening, good afternoon, gentlemen. It depends how you day on planet Earth where they follow this program. This is not the APC UKI online TV platform monologue program where they call Everyday Politics with me, Abubakar Kagbo, with plenty of people they call ABS. Ladies and gentlemen, today we get a very, very exciting topic. First of all, I welcome Una wholeheartedly on the platform, especially Una when we know we usual viewers or followers, and the way they come today, I know say this topic they attract a lot of people in today. So I want for basically to help we for share the link, because today we get forget a very, 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 very very interesting topic. Please help us share the program far and wide, because we're here to talk about something we don't happen in Sierra Leone, not particularly on the incidents of the protest way turned to violence, deadly violence, lead to the loss of life and then destruction of properties. Not to that. But before we start, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make you all join me in 1 minute silent prayer as a mark of respect to the people and we sadly lost their lives at the tragedy where it take place in our beloved country yesterday, Sierra Leone. Please join me in a minute's silent prayer. Amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic we look at some at waiting really can happen when get a dangerous leader in a country, and what's not the characteristics them we get to look at, because the problems of Sierra Leone really not just limited to the current government. We have to be honest about it. Some of the factors have been historical, and but again, I can always remind myself on a quote where President Biden they talk, where I think he go Philadelphia after we don't win. Presidents then can get this way when they do they don't win and they go to the states, go talk to them people them for telling thank you for the belief and trust way them would they repose in them. So he was there, and then they ask him within a need for can do in terms of for restore kind of within the ethnic minority committee in America. And what he said in that submission is say anything where politicians they do na wall is say that choice. So in choice we don't make now for actually lead an American society where they look people on the basis of their skin color and everything. So why am I saying this? Because it came in and changed. And if you look at even the appointment of Biden, you see say much of it tried to break the wall, the concrete of the injustice or inequality or unequal representation or less representation of ethnic minorities than the United States of America. So he did that. We saw that. So there, the choice is very, very key. And that's why tonight we're actually focusing where we are tonight. Because guess what? In every given society, especially in a political setting, the leadership quality, they actually determine how kind of productive or destructive that society would be. The leadership is actually a mirror or symbol of within that society they actually be. So that's why today we say with the focus of President Bio without malice or prejudice. We're doing this because we are citizens. We believe, say, with political franchise not ending in the ballot box. Yesterday, we've had lots of stories. I follow programs them up to 4 a.m. London time. And I see, especially a pauper-dominated platform, where they spew and peddle messages of hate, messages of destruction. This is not what we're here to do. We're here to actually call things them as we believe, honestly and objectively as we believe say they are. And that's why tonight's program, we're going to focus on the leadership of President Bio. And we ask a question: is President Bio a heartless leader? That is a question. So in the analysis we take tonight, basically you and I go able to actually make a sense as to whether the question is worth asking, especially at this present moment. And we say so because we focus after this incident happened. Mark you, he was not in Sierra Leone. He began in London, yeah, as we are made to know. And he's actually sent a tweet. And in that tweet, we look at the tweets, we find out, say, we leader not compassionate at all. When you compare that tweet and other towering figures, towering politicians in the country, they all express words of sympathy to the lives that we go, to the family of the lives that we go, and especially police officers we actually caught up during action yesterday. So we feel, say, the compassion of a leader is very, very key into this, because if a leader is not compassionate, then obviously that society is doomed. So we are here to unpack some of the things that will happen right now by focusing on the leadership style of President Bio, with specific reference to the concept of compassion. Has he been compassionate enough? We're here to unpack that. So tonight, I gotta forget people and women they can't talk, but not so much about the people who they come at the party who they can't talk. Tonight's program, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a kind of engagement with you. I get two numbers that I get for display very soon. One of the number you only call on WhatsApp, and the other number you call regular calls, and also they call with WhatsApp. So that we will forget a kind of a dialogue. Let's just find a way out, because I say this to people, and in fact, even what I did have now a different social media for us. My argument is this: the politicians are not as that's not to say not to listening people. Waiting they make a politician become emboldened in actions. Now the support of other people, where they support the leader. As I get a favorite video where they can play soon, and this will tell you why some leaders say they lost compassion during their tenure. Why did they lose compassion? It's about them because, again, mortal man, and I think it's a sociologist called Weber. Now, in talk about free will and determinism. Free will in the sense that you get a mortal man, anything you do, if you're able to take action, if you're able to take responsibility of your actions, like what I'm going to say on this program, these are purely my words. So I should be able to take responsibility in what I say. And then you also get to something called determinism. Determinism in the sense that as much as I get my own free will as a mortal man, but also society, the influence on my own behavior on a daily basis. So those are the distinction. You get the individual and society. So what we are saying here, the leader, because even the leader gets the free will for chart the way forward of a country in a productive path. But when it make mistakes, then, and some of the mistake could be implicit, some of them could be explicit. But when you get a society where then they think bad, then they think caustic, then they think awful, all the time they think about danger. So whatever what they say to that person as a mark of support, that's they actually influence within the leader they do, whether it continue on the right path or it do the right thing. So my arguments here tonight, as much as we know, much of the decisions, the bad decisions, so presidents don't do over 4 years where you don't become president, but much of it is actually influenced by those who are actually peddling lies, those who are peddling messages of division, those who are peddling messages of insidious messages. Now then they make the president, they become very, very emboldened for do certain things so they do. So his actions are within as free will as an individual, what they do, and then also that of determinism, how society actually shape human action. And that's why we're here tonight to talk about this thing. It's really, really important for see whether we presidents are heartless, ladies and gentlemen. But because I don't talk about the kind of the role where people and they play, it's about people them. And I like a very, very, very I don't use this video for some of you now they follow this program. And also I get a very, very favorite video I can play. It seems as waiting the person they actually talk there. It's a religious message, but also it's political. They talk about the distinctions of people and when are supporters, their members, them, and the political parties, them, especially in a very challenging political landscape of our time. You know, you say one, you get the idiots, and two, you get the tribalist, and three, you get a good citizen. So all of this will unpack this tonight for them and know what's in the happen. Because after this program, please, you able for go lay down, let people warn you for see if this way would they carry on so, if not a good thing. And I say this, society gets a role for make sure say the leader change. And I can tell you now, I believe President Bio, as much as we know say in some aspects is not a listening president, but if we they tell him something then we're very, very important to the development of the country, to the peace and unity of Sierra Leone, if we actually pass on information to them, where actually they add up to the social fabric of our desired cohesiveness. Believe in President Bio able to do things the way right. But the moments when you get a segment of society where always in they think, and it's really like this man say, the people away categorized as the idiots. Excuse me for my language. That is, I'm just quoting from what somebody say. Then this, now then things that they make the leadership, they become emboldened into wrongdoing. But listen for yourself, or watch this video for yourself and make sense of it.
According to the Greeks, we have the idiots, the tribal people, and the citizens. The first group of people are the idiots. The idiots are a group of people or individuals who don't care about other people in another group. They will be with the group whether for good or for evil. If the group is doing evil, they will support the evil. If the group is doing good, they will support the group. If the group is doing evil, whatever the group will do, whether it is evil or not, they don't care. They will stand and support it. Nothing will change their mind. And the tribal people are a group of people who look down upon other people. Not that they are tribalistic, but they look down upon other people. They think they are better than other people. And the third group of people, according to the Greeks, are the citizens. According to the Greeks, the citizens are people who think about the next generation. They think about the next group of people who will come and inherit them. So whatever they are doing, they do it for the benefit of the next generation. People think politics is dirty, but politics is actually not dirty. It is dirty people who make politics dirty. There is difference between party politics and national politics. Party politics is you belong to party X, Y, and Z, and you support them for good, for the evil, and for the ugly. And you will become sometimes a tool in their hands to promote evil. One of the basic explanation or definition of politics is the making of decisions in the management and distribution of resources for the public good. The management of our resources for the benefit of all. Politics will determine how your birth should be managed. Politics determined when your children can start school. Politics determined what kind of educational system our children will have. Politics determined what kind of job you can have. Politics will determine your family life and your family development. Politics will determine your financial lifestyle. Politics also determine your retirement plan from the age of 60. Politics determines that. Politics determine your employment lifestyle. Politics will determine your death management. From the cradle to the grave is determined by politics. From birth to death, your life is regulated by politics. So if you sit down and you are saying that country broke or country no broke, I dare inside, I don't care, I'm not concerned about it, then literally you are saying that from your birth, your education, your financial life, your employment life, your economic life, your retirement life, and your death management life, you have sold your birthright to somebody to regulate it for you, and you don't care about anything about your life. That is why your vote is important.
What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? That message is very, very clear, isn't it? It's seeped deep into we bones, not even at the flesh. When you sit down, you consider what happened yesterday, and you listen to what this pastor they talk. Then, if you're not a good citizen, they talk about 3 members then. If you're not so an idiot, as he say, or you're not a tribalist, then you have to be a good citizen. And if you're a good citizen, why will not for begin to sit down and think Sierra Leone? Some of we get we own families. We get the mind for tell we daddy them and mama them with big brothers them with big sisters them with auntie them the truth. Yes, that's what we do in our families, in our private lives. When it comes to politics, we know get mind for talk the truth. So the people that we suffer for bring you calm on planet Earth, the people them when are you blood siblings them, you people them when are you close family members, you get mind for tell them the truth. But when it comes to the politics, then you behave like an idiot or a tribalist. That is the key message there. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic tonight, we are going to examine, we do a critical examination of the concept of compassion, which should be a very, very key characteristic of a leader, especially in current times when society they face lots of challenges them. Within the happen in Sierra Leone, it's not only limited in Sierra Leone. Things in the happen in UK, now the mature democracies, in terms of the high cost of living, the challenges them are enormous. The only difference is in this part of the world, if you're ready to work, there is work for you to do. So in other words, when you work, you're able to get what economists then call disposable income. You know, they actually above normal say you are what day. You know, they go do bad things then because you want to live. That is the difference. You don't get even hard job, you able to do where they bring a wage. And that wage should be sufficient enough for make you make a living. So that is the difference. In other words, things are hard, but then you get money where you're able to live above the income. They actually able to nobody who dinner, so you cannot be host. And you drink free drink, and they give you free food. You do all kinds of we want for doing at the house. It's very difficult for people money give you because you save the work. We believe, and especially who they under a conservative era, then believe say nobody should actually live on which they call a free handouts. Everybody should be able to fend up for themselves. The people are able to stand up like the 2 feet. That is a conservative belief. So, but because we have options then for exploit the labor market system, but in Sierra Leone we don't have that, and because of that, we need a system. And courtesy to Solomon Jamiru, one of the deputy attorney general and also deputy minister, deputy minister of justice in audio where they make round right now on social media. It talk about critical convergence of people across the aisle for talk about issues them. Let's face it, if you get a home in a house where you run an open society, you get your bikini, you get your wife, you get everybody where they do, when no say you're not too bad and you're not too careless head of the home. If you get able to do for them, but you communicate to them, because today I'm not able for you now that jollof not able for it because of this reason and this reason. But we get this for it. It's about communication, society for the dialogue, and that is another very strong aspect of democracy. We have to dialogue in all shape or form so that we're able to seek for solutions. Then it's very difficult. We face difficult times. So therefore, the leader is very, very key. So that is so many things then the way at least we can talk about leader, but today we are focusing on the aspects or the components of compassion, which is a very key component of what makes a good leader or a bad leader. So we're here today to talk about President Julius Maada Bio. You wait on join we, please, I'm begging you, share this link far and wide so that we will forget a lot of people in. One of the questions we would try to ask is this: is President Julius Maada Bio a compassionate leader? A compassionate leader, or is he a dangerous leader? That is the question. It's a question worth asking. Why we ask these questions? That's how we say, if the present is fraught with challenges them and chaos, history must be revisited. Let us go back to the start of the leadership of President Julius Maada Bio. From the time not to way he did campaign, now way he don't become president. That is the time he did assess within a mortal man. Because guess what? In every democratic society, you get what they call campaign rhetorics. It happen across the board. But once somebody don't win on the 4th of April in the year of our Lord 2018, where His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio take the oath of allegiance. Bintu money. Some people they say, well, some people they say it taken from other side, but on the 4th of April in the year of our Lord 2018, some say Radisson blue. So from that moment where it take the oath of allegiance, that is when we begin to assess the Julius Maada Bio, from the Julius Maada Bio as somebody with a campaign for presidency, and to Julius Maada Bio, where now the president of Sierra Leone. And as per the oath of allegiance we take, it say, I will be the president of all nations, of all people in Sierra Leone, irrespective of their political proclivity or their tribe or their regional or their religion or whatever kind of identity. He is a president of all of those people. This was a solemn promise that was given to us by our president, and we hold him to that. If we see anything less, it is our constitutional responsibility for all the presidents accountable. And for una where they say, we not for talk because things can go wrong in the country. Let me read a quote from President Julius Maada Bio in the during the opening of the first session of the 5th Parliament. That is when they opened Parliament, when President Julius Maada Bio when he became a president, then Parliament was opened for the very first time with Igudi as a democratically elected president. So in that maiden speech, paragraph 124, if you will get that document today, please read with me. This is what he said. In the new direction, government is determined to reverse the deplorable trend in the governance landscape so that every citizen of Sierra Leone will interact to make governance work for all, undertaking robust, ambitious, and courageous programs in the following areas of state governance. It's not my words. Every citizen, and he's right. The president is right, because a political franchise does not end in the ballot box. And you check the constitution of the land, it guarantees a citizen freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. We have the rights for all thoughts, opinion. That is our right, as long as you don't do that malicious. So we are here tonight to check whether our president, and by holding him to these statements, this now statement he make himself, You see, every citizen in the creator space, well, every citizen participates how for rule the country in a very productive manner. So if we see our president for the 4 years, it actually follow a destructive path where they bring the country back. And myself seated here during the civil war, at this Sierra Leone till we done, we know which is some of we go through. So I can feel I am actually a war victim. I was there. Some people, they don't fly car overseas, but we did some of we come overseas. After the war, we were there. I'm not going to no country at this Sierra Leone, just a hoop from one section of the country to another section. So we felt it. If we see a semblance of that kind of behavior, it manifests itself against the advice of the TRC reports, then it's our responsibility to hold that government accountable. Una get for BIE, una we no want, una we in at the category of the idiots. As that pastor says, it's not my words. Where it say anything where a leader talk, whether that is right or wrong, una the support uncritically. And for una the tribalist, as long as the president belong to una own ideology, and because tribe actually transcends just a tribe, the language or a common culture. It's an ideology, and that's what's dangerous about it. Ideology could be very, very dangerous. Even extremism, it's an ideology. Terrorism is an ideology, and that is what is dangerous about it. Because when somebody don't actually soak into an ideology, it's difficult for people and they. So that's why we get constant communication, continuous, for ensure that we educate people and say that is not the way to love your country. What does that? What benefits me for support APC for do the wrong? Where that action gets a tendency for destroy Sierra Leone. I am not going to be a party to it, because I am a citizen of Sierra Leone first before I became an APC member through voluntary means. My citizenship is expressed, and my membership to the APC is actually tacit. I can take it. Temporal. Now, me want for make them permanent. I get right for moved up under a political party. So what I'm trying to say here, your citizenship and your patriotism, that is something, it's a duty, it's a moral duty to every citizen. So please, don't remain as an idiot, as this pastor say. Be a good citizen. Don't remain as a tribalist either. When you're president, if you have the courage, to call your dad, to call your mom, to call your auntie, to call your siblings, to call your friends, your direct relations, when there is a potential wrongdoing or when wrongdoing don't occur. Why can't you call leaders in governance? Where you know say, then you mistake, it gets a far overreaching adverse effect. Why should you not call them just because of your allegiance to a party? That is very destructive. And this is what we're here to talk about tonight. We can focus on the leadership of President Julius Maada Bio. And let me just advise us all, before we go proper, I get me colleagues them, where they say a host very soon and begin coming at this platform, both Imran and Igalo, they're not coming yet, but at least we get better time when they come in for let we spice up this program. But you yourself with it out there, you will be part of the program. But before that, listen to waiting this police officer where appear to me a video where it shows say it be the conduct a training on leadership. Relax and watch.
Welcome back from the short break. But I think it's time for us to just do a very simple summary. All we've been talking about is on what? Leadership. And I said leadership is what? Influence. Simplicity. No less, no more. Leadership is influence. This is a fact, and everybody knows that. But sometimes we think it's about what. Today I am telling you it's not about what, it's about how. The what is the fact that we know leadership is influence. But the how is how do we influence people? How do you get people on board? How do you get people to align to the vision of the organization. How do you align people? How do you get your followers to believe so much in you and follow you? Leadership is what? Influence. And let me tell you the how. Basically, what we are doing today is how to influence what? People. How to influence your followers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to influence people, the first value that you require as a leader is integrity. That is the I. Leadership is influence. The I stands for what? Integrity. Doing what is right, believing that nobody will even ever see. Doing what is right, irrespective of the forces against you. You got to do what is right. That is integrity. Walking the talk. Simple and short. Please learn how to nurture your followers. Empower the young ones who are with you. Because leadership is not a permanent position. One day you will be gone. But the people that you have empowered, when they take over the reins of the organization, you will sit at home and you begin to relax and watch how things are unfolding, because they are demonstrating that they have been empowered enough. But if you get absent for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and everybody is crying, the organization is not moving forward, the country is not moving forward because you are not around, it means that you are a very good example of a bad leader. 3, please have faith in your followers.
So I think there are different characteristics the way this police officer they communicates to the team in a training session. But what is very striking there, and it gets a very close link to what we talk about tonight, is the aspect of influence. Influence. And for some of now we don't do read extensively about power and governmentality. There is a famous author within the call Michel Foucault. It's very, very important. Check him up. Now, in they tell we about how power they operate in society. For tell everybody say, power is not the barrel of a gun. Power, because the gun we they see, now a thing. They say power is not a thing, said Foucault. It's very, very intelligent fellow. Very intelligent fellow. They say power is not a thing. It's not something physical that you can see. That is what power, that is what Foucault posited. It's not a thing that you can hold, physical thing like we hold the pen. No, that's not power. Power, they transverse through the vein. And we saw that yesterday. Very unfortunate. We saw people them where they run, bear clothes, woman them, picking them, helter skelter at Freetown, hell broke loose. And the security there, they have to use what they call rules of engagement, because Sierra Leone is under an obligation, and that's an international standard. You cannot kill people indiscriminately because you hold a gun. So that gun becomes useless in the face of the security forces. Because the power will be the manifest. Sadly, in Sierra Leone yesterday, was the actual power with Mr. Foucault. It transverses through the vein. It's not a thing. So what do you do as a leader to ensure that power is not utilized by people and we get the potential for cause havoc? Because they are despondent, they are disillusioned, they are discontented, they are dissatisfied. They feel being shafted by the society, by the system. Ladies and gentlemen, go to the manifesto of what you call the People's Manifesto of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio. There are certain things that way the president actually promised the people of Sierra Leone. Very, very important, which is the bread and butter issue. That's not been resolved. The issue of jobs, nothing. So when the people feel that they have been actually conned and suppressed, not only conned and suppressed, this is how things can go wrong. And that's why for all this time, the APC UKI online TV platform, it's in record. We always remind the authorities of Sierra Leone, because Sierra Leone is close to our hearts. People think we just come and oppose. We're not opposing. We are giving solutions. We prefer solutions to the government for say, hey, look at some of these things. It's very, very important. if you want to continue to maintain the legitimacy that has been given to you through the ballot box. So what you do as a responsible government is to actually do a reflection on everything you do. Self-reflection. Stand before the mirror and look at yourself. That is a common practice. Standard procedure. Stand in front of the mirror. Empty yourself. Go home. Relax. In your quiet moment, think about the actions, the decisions, the way you take. Is that decision in tandem with the oath of allegiance where you take? Say they work for the people of Sierra Leone. So, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of influence is very, very important in the power matrix and how people in the actually dispense or wield power. It's very, very important. You would have ABS to do anything, just anything for you, if you can convince me and influence me to do that. That is power. I think society, don't get me wrong, a very core characteristic of a nation state is the monopoly of violence. But when I say monopoly of violence, you use that at real extremes, like a last resort. When you think, say, for example, the country they about to be threatened by an external aggressor and other stuff, then you don't use that to your people, especially where they only communicate to you for quite a long time. So the influence there is very, very important. And even for people that we study the three phases of power, influence is there. Influence is even the main thing where every society, business system where don't actually progress. Influence is what they use. Just think about you being somebody, a marketer. You hold 2 mango. You stand before a customer and tell them, say, mango B is better than mango C. Influence. Getting the customer to buy your products. If you cannot do that, so imagine, would you go to the in the city center of Sierra Leone with a bowl full of mangoes, and then you all cane the whip people and say, I can't buy the mango? Nobody would buy it from you, because you're causing people. That's not power. Naked power is not what we want in a democratic society. We need people to actually use influence. And there is a book, the APC UKI online TV platform is also a platform of knowledge sharing. And I kid you not, there's a book called Soft Power. Check it. That book, the author tried to tell we with evidence how I'm not going to use country, but I tell them about the advanced democracies. When working broke in certain places, not internally, but outside, when they go fight them countries, then they spend 10 times past waiting in the put bar for buy military hardware and also for supply people or put foot on the ground. They say the money when they use behind the scene for actually use or utilize what they call soft power. That is where diplomacy they take place. If they want to take a strategic position, especially when they're in a certain country A, but country B is a neighbor, then therefore actually broker deal with them countries and therefore give them the airspace and all of those things. Now money they go there. And even in terms of winning some kind of defiant warlords, then they use soft power. Then they use other sources, then people when they talk to them warlords and that's how they put their arms and promise them good life, give them big money. It's a good book. Soft Power is a good book. Check it out. So this is what we are saying in Sierra Leone. Why is this essential? And why is this very critical in today's program? Because the problem will make Sierra Leone with the getting problems there. So we feel say anybody wouldn't give governance where the security apparatus they under your control, you can use it to suppress people. No. Check the constitution of Sierra Leone. There is nothing there from the introduction of the constitution to the appendix. There's nothing there we tell a government say go and oppress your people. No. So we are focusing why this is the case in the last over 4 years of President Julius Maada Bio. We are focusing on the aspect of compassion. Again, let's go to memory lane as I tell you just now. 2018, when President Julius Maada Bio don't win elections, Then there was an inaugural ceremony. This inaugural ceremony, they basically take place in a stadium. That was on the 12th of May in the year of our Lord, 2018. Stadium, now there the inaugural ceremony take place. So in that, before that process day, we know how bloody the 2018 election was, especially the post-2018 elections era. And by the way, before I come to that, let's just digress quickly. When President Julius Maada Bio don't win, because people are twisting the facts, because as I always say, the problem with make we get some dangerous people in our social media because they are divided. Well, me say they come with me on category, maybe added to waiting that pastor don't see. We get people when they call it the uninformed and the misinformed. The uninformed people, these are people who be say anything where you tell them, as long as they say ABS is my friend, you know they go check them. It take them. It just they consume them uncritically. These are the uninformed. Anything they give them, or they don't know nothing. In fact, I'll just say these are ignorance people. They don't know nothing. So then they do something bad. They don't even know. Say they actually they fall foul of the law. They don't want no standing. But the most dangerous people, ladies and gentlemen, that the misinformed. So if you look at what happened yesterday, after where this incident don't take place, there was a barrage of commentaries on social media where everything just they make for let things them flare up. You see people like Mike Brewer. This morning they condemn Solomon Jamiru. You see people when they call Mambu. If you follow yesterday the program where EM Kutubu be there online, you feel like throwing up. Excuse me for my language. Everything those guys said in that program was not to bring the country together, was not to check the weaknesses of our president that needed a change. All what they talk now for actually give more venom into the operatives of the current government, will even cause mayhem in the country. I think that was what influenced a man like Solomon Jamiru for come with a message where a lot of hardliners there at the power today then feels that message is not worth listening to. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about. Compassion is a very, very, very important something. So, come now to the inaugural period. What happened then? President Bio made a speech where now 4 pages of that speech. Check it out. Anything I'll say, Nayasu, is something that has been thoroughly researched. It's online. If you want to read the inaugural speech of President Bio, go online, it's there. Available. You can just read it. And that's why I said to people, if you want to actually talk an issue or something for do with the governance of Sierra Leone, then you should be in the habit of reading yourself. Read. A lot of people, even people in governance, they don't read documents. They don't. That's why when I meet up online for argue on things that Indian governance, you reference certain things them where they occur within the governance structure or within the governance system. They don't even know about this. So these are the dangerous people, the misinformed people. They've been misinformed, and these are people where they're ready for stand at the roof and commit suicide. So that is a very, very dangerous way to go. But again, these are the people, as I said earlier on from the opening, say the president himself, a day between 2 poles. One of it is a free will, which will the all I'm responsible, because what is said here, now this book, by the way, this not the hard copy. I was in Sierra Leone and I've been in a parliament. This was the copy where I managed for grab, and when I come London, I count some. So anything where ABS they talk, I get evidence. If I just go on some of the things where President Maada Bio talk now this. By the way, I just tell you how many paragraphs if I no say, and they talk from a position of strength. The entire how many pages and how many paragraphs. So now the 39 pages and the paragraphs are 145. The people within a parliament and go tell them say ABS is right. You know, not one. It's 149. Sorry, it's 149. The paragraphs are 149. You know, so that's where it ends. Usa say, I thank you all. God bless you. God bless Sierra Leone. So that was President Bio. Now, in speech, he made a speech in the parliament in 2018. So this was the speech where it translates the manifesto promises into policy statements. So anything we didn't ask you, what the president not do, now the rights me to for all I'm responsible. That is a citizen. No law not doing on planet Earth would they tell you, see, not all President Bill, but the things that he said here that he didn't do. It's your right to hold him. If somebody feels say that's an incitement, tough. But this is what President Bill said. I'm just a messenger. Hold the man. You get for all I'm responsible. You understand? So that's the thing. So, but today is about compassion. In that inaugural ceremony, what's in happen where we don't get elections? People were killed. There is an issue or an incident where they say it take place, where they say, quote and unquote, it happened na Kailong about a chairlady of the APC. I don't want to actually repeat it because I think this time we just get for talk about issues there, not for fuel the tension. But I want to remind President Bill into all of these things and make it check itself if you I know your guys will be following this because nowadays we get people that will be saying some of them are friends. When we talk, then they will record you and send to power. That's all they're doing. And some of them are in the diaspora. But some of us will not care about what they do. What will they do so? It's a moral obligation for Syria. And it's my civic responsibility. It's enshrined in the Constitution, the 1991 Constitution. So it's my responsibility for make sure that, and President Bill, by as the section where I talked just now, he said it. He said in government, they actually they encourage every citizen for it play a role in the activities of governance, which is paragraph 124, without any impediments. It's our responsibility. So if you want to impede us or if you want to shut us down, then you're wasting your time. We want our president to be a better person. We want our president to be a better leader. What we're saying, we're not saying it out of malice. He is the one that has been elected by the people of Sierra Leone. He has a 5-year mandate. But that election is not a state of license for him to go wrongly. Because when that's happened, Sierra Leone will be the country to face the brunt of his poor leadership. And this is what I'm here to talk about tonight with you. Very soon I will open the phone line so that you will also be part of this conversation. Some of you know a lot of things more than I do. So let us have a nuanced dialogue around the leadership of our presidency, of our president, President Julius Maada Bio. So what happened in that inaugural ceremony? People were killed, houses were burned, a lot of things happened. Women and children displaced, and I know I was part of the APC team Wegoma Singbi. When you go, you see the destitution which people faced that 10 day. You see terror. The last time I saw those kind of faces was during the war. People were terrified because they were chased. That's what happened. When the APC go meet President Julius Maada Bio, as it's traditionally demand, headed by Dr. Samura Kamara, who was then the flag bearer as the losing candidate. Now you go meet him. Normally they say in governance, the winner for be for show magnanimity and extend an olive branch, but that was not the case. So the then candidates, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, and also some high-ranking members then at the APC went to his residence. Among other things, then tell him about waiting the situation Masingbing, and remind that say now that he's a president, make for let things them actually look they quell the situation and ensure that normalcy reign. Ladies and gentlemen, I talk about compassion. What's in President you reply? In first reply say now na starts. Now na begin this. Imagine this is a president. We just don't take the oath of allegiance on the 4th of April and talk say, I will be a president, whether you vote for me or not for me. All of a sudden is pushing a very dangerous binary distinction card between us and them. It's in our starts. Some of you don't know this reality. This is what, please help us share. Because I tell you, I say, the more reason what to make some people are making lies on social medias, because some of these things are hidden to some of you now. Let's have a very open conversation. And now we put president now the hot seat and see if President Bill actually do so what he promised for do as per in oath of allegiance. They say now starts. Tano end inaugural ceremony come, even though Dr. Samura Kamara and the APC Alagba, they will go meet. I don't tell them about what happened. By the way, before that meeting the end, this was where the cross-party peace mediation, inter-district peace mediation was actually now day it gets in own fruits. And even the peace commission would inform Sidina Sierra Leone. Now that meeting it starts. Those were the recommendations. So that telling us say ABS is actually is grounded on those issues. I'm well informed on those issues. President Bill now, the 12th of May, Ide Stadium, you've been reminded as the president of the land, say, and you know about this, you don't have to be reminded because he was well aware about things that really happened during the campaign. 4 pages, President Bill never alter a word of sympathy to people who lost their life, property, and will get some kind of disturbances during the election we make a president. That was not all. When all members say the day when they do that inaugural, prior to the president in arrival at the National Stadium, there was a stampede which led to injuries on people. Come on now. Any compassionate leader will be morally compelled to acknowledge that incident, because people came to support, people were there to support President Julius Maada Bio. And there was a stampede. Whether he was informed or not, but I'm saying that he never acknowledged what took place at the stadium that they do in that process. So put those things together. In speech, 4 pages, nowhere in that speech will President Bill say, I am sorry. So my question we are the ask, is President Bill a heartless leader? This is something for me and you two for actually reflect on and think about what they do. I just don't get somebody there at the lobby. I don't know who that is, but I don't know who that is. But when the person show up, I think it's one of my guests. I will usher him in pretty soon. Yes. That is one of my guests tonight, and also my colleague host, and in name na Mohammed Kamara, aka Igalo. Welcome and say hello to Fambule with the watch me, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade ABS, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself. This is Comrade Mohammed Kamara, aka Igalo, live with Comrade ABS as the co-host for this program tonight.
Thank you so much, Comrade Igalo. So at least you know from the behind the scene, you know what we there for talk about tonight, basically, with something we get for do the leadership quality of President Julius Maada Bio, and are just there at the juncture for explain when he don't win elections, where he go na stadium on the 12th of May in the year of our Lord 2018. He delivered a speech, went 4 pages, and in that speech, even though there's been a lot of things that will happen, we get for do with people and lost their life, and you be did at Freetown, you know what happened. Our president never alter a word of sympathy for within occur, except the post-election violence which take place in Sierra Leone. And even on that very day where he was inaugurated, there was a stampede in the National Stadium. These are things that we know. President Bill never acknowledged that scene. Do you think our president is heartless? Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. First and foremost, I join other Sierra Leoneans then for express condolences to the one that we lost in lives them. Now the incidents were happened recently, yesterday in Sierra Leone.
Can I ask you to put your device landscape, please? If you don't mind. Thank you so much. Yes. Now you're better.
Yeah, so,
and just make sure you relax behind the beats, and because your head kind of, if you go behind the beats and push the device before,
Yeah.
And because it is show from you add a cut.
Yeah, the miss this in so I look the scene.
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay, yeah. I think there's a way where they put and just see the thing they make fine. So if it yes, that's the one. So that's Comrade Igalo. Again, you don't send up again, please.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mentioned, say I want to join other Sierra Leoneans them for share with condolences to the one that we lost their lives, both security officers and innocent citizens, and we come out yesterday for demonstrate a peaceful demonstration. We be end up for turnout for the riots based on the unprofessionalism of we security. I want to express my sincere condolences to the families, and then those who don't die, may their soul rest in perfect peace. And then again, like you mentioned about the leadership quality of the president, I want to believe, say, President Bio, now one of the very heartless and then dishonest leader who would ever get in Sierra Leone, owing to the fact, say, leadership, when you become a leader, you approach, you forbid beyond reproach, your character and what you they see, what you they talk, if we match up exactly to the expectations of the citizens. We don't get several incidents where it happens since we don't take over governance, like you mentioned about the stampede, the prison break, and other things. Then, as a leader of a country, it's always expected. You know, for the camp put blames on the opposition, say they are just listening in BBC interview we just do. All the blames they put and say this now a machinated something orchestrated by the opposition, and refer to those citizens who come up for protesters against the hardship, the skyrocketing prices of goods and commodities in the country. He refer to we then citizens and they as terrorists. Instead of him, and after we don't mention about the fact say these are unemployed youths. For the fact he mentioned the word say they are unemployed youths, the lady they ask him say, you know, if you say these are more the reason why make them come out for protests for better standard of living, for better conditions of living, rather than you refer to them as terrorists. Them. So in all of these put together, you see the dishonesty when the way how the president they handle the country, because citizens are not going to come on and do for protesters against things the way they feel say these are basic needs, commodities are basic needs of them. Then you know they happen from the government. They all of a sudden, when they come up for protest, all which you care for now can begin align them to a political party. It is wrong. That tells you the president of the country only focus now that on political issues. If people realize say the citizens then get a responsibility instead of getting more rights for protect the rights, the lives and citizens there. But if anything happen at the country, you know they can't condemn those things vehemently without involving politics inside, then it's really disheartening. Meaning, for any approach, any step where citizens then take, it already gets a fixed mind say, this is something that is politically machinated. But let me use this opportunity for this as to switch my own political party, that's the All People's Congress political party, that we don't get any bearing, we don't get any hand so far with the ongoing process we happen recently in the country. The fact of the matter is, we as a political party, we are responsible enough or take responsibility for whatever thing we do. The protests will happen, like INSESF acknowledge the fact that these are unemployed youths, these are young people who get it. They believe say they get a responsibility for take care of their homes, their families. But if the government only provide the enabling environment, government only provide job opportunities for them, prices and just the skyrocket, commodities and just the go, transportation just the increase, the country just stay in a fixed position, whereas you know they move at all. So then tell me if then citizens they don't get rights for protest against the government, because they're not a protest against SLP plus political party, no, they protest against the government of Sierra Leone. By extension, the president, who is Julius Maada, is the head of the country. So if then they protest, it's their responsibility. As APC APC and Memowe, the protesters and the right, they express concern, say they want protest. The police deny them. That tells you there is a big problem in the country because freedom of expression, freedom of speech, they don't deny the rights of citizens there. We know for we will continue for seeing things that will happen because if the security sector, the muscle, the citizens, not for vent out their grievances, not for vent out waiting they bother them as a nation, then we are now the country is now seated in on a time bomb because then things that we just don't catalog now explode the explosives small. What I'm expecting from the leadership of the country, that's the president, now for come and apologize to the people. Apologize to the people with sincerity. Not apologize or not can say something again, we will feel another thing. Because all now what's interested in now is that this is something politically machinated by the opposition. Why blaming the APC for your inept leadership? Why blaming the APC for your where you don't pay attention to the country, focus on the country? You are all over the place. You just fly from one exit to another, from one place to another. You fail for realizing you have a responsibility, and the responsibility is Mama Salo. Let's solve our country internally. We know for this, you know, for the day out of the country, things like this they happen. You are not even know where to be found. No statement. All the incidents that will happen, I've never had him or comes very strongly for condemn the violence, them first and foremost, and for take responsibility. All they do now blame games. Since when Kana has been in office, he has been blaming the opposition all throughout in 4 years. Now 5 years they cancel. And just the blame as APC, 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 APC. So the vexing question we need for ask Mr. President. Citizens are not getting right for protests because of what they happen, they have in the country. Does it have to do with politics? Now everything ever do with politics? The answer is no. We have our rights, we have our obligations. So in all of these put together, like I mentioned, the leadership of the country is very much dishonest, is very much heartless, and they take responsibility of anything where they happen. They always defend an escape route, that is a blame game, saying that opposition will cause this one. But instead in the interviews, they clearly acknowledge say the youth them and unemployed youth. And they mention about the issue of prices, they mention about things that are difficult. Why can't you now take the responsibility? Say yes, we know say these things are all difficult. We take responsibility as a government. We apologize for all of them things that way they happen. But what do we do as citizens? What do we do and all come together for put things in order? These are the things we expect from him. Not of can tell we say it's a terrorist them, it's a machinated thing from the opposition. It's wrong. That is the wrong approach. That tells you there's nothing like wisdom in his leadership. And we want what we call wisdom. Where I make them always they pray for wisdom and understanding for leaders. We don't need leaders who get borrowed wisdom. When are people and they listen to now, ultimately people tell them, and they take. You forget your own wisdom. If you not say, wait till they do so, you're right, wait till they do so, you're wrong. You understand? But this is the problem we have. And this is Madabio is always dodging the realities on the ground. Everything about him is politically machinated. And you can't continue that as a leader. You therefore accept the fact, say, things are hard, things are difficult, things are not moving in the country. And as a result of it, these are some of the factors we don't formulate to the fact, say, citizens, they protest. They are not protesting because they are APC. They are not protesting because they are NGC. They are not protesting because they are PMDC. They are protesting because things are extremely difficult in the country. And President Bio should accept that one wholeheartedly and take responsibility because it gets a manifesto where it be promised the people for ensure, say, a bring up economic stability, create job opportunities, and build infrastructure and create the enabling environment. But if we fail forget all them things that are put together within a manifesto, then things that they go back to us, then who do we have to blame? We have to blame him and he has to take the responsibility. And only for tell we say this is the politically machinated, now APC, terrorist them, all these are all wrong vibes. Now wrong vibes and they were not good for the nation. You continue to further divide the country. You continue to make people believe that you are not competent enough to take us to the 2020 election. Because if you don't already get assumptions, you don't get belief in say citizens that they come out for protest for their right, but you don't already categorize them to be APC and categorize them for the terrorists, then what is going to happen in the next few months towards elections? What is going to happen? Are we going to see situations like this happening? That they will continue to kill innocent civilian citizens who stand up for their rights? Then at the end of the day, you mentioned, say, but it's even a disgrace for even at least to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, where the members of the diplomatic and consular corps, where it mentioned, say, these are terrorists, these are politically machinated from the APC. Why can't they take responsibility?
Yeah,
why don't we mention about the
Igalo, if I can stop you there, even where Professor Francis, Professor Francis, and I think that in name, and to be honest, before I come to your point, ladies and gentlemen, I am very sorry to say this. This is a man where me feel say most of the things that really happen so is key to it. These are people that we must.
I agree with you.
All these ideas of the reason why, and to be honest, that's why I feel for people and we not highly educated and people who are not educated. We in Sierra Leone are them plenty, because when they read the title, they associate professor and all of this thing, it make people in the fear. And who is this professor? As which we made to understand is a professor of peace and conflict. That's what he studied. But this is a man we come from the very beginning of this administration, where they don't win power, then constitute what they call a GTTR committee.
Government Transition
Committee. And in that committee, when they published the report, he was the chairperson. We hear the venom, the spirit at which he delivered in speech to the president. And but what is striking, and I tell people this is a calculated ploy by people within a powerful divide, Igalo, me and you.
It's true. It's true. It's a calculated ploy. It's a calculated ploy.
And this is what he said.
Let me just come in a brief.
Yeah.
We get leaders and they will believe, say, they know they thrive where there is peace. They will always thrive where there is crisis and controversies.
You're right.
To me, I don't follow President Bio. I don't read about him small in history, in leadership. He has always been that leader who always thrive when there is crisis.
Yeah,
that has always been his leadership, and that is bad leadership. We don't need a kind of leadership than in Asagadio. Exactly. We need leader who are very much comfortable with a peace with the people. Exactly. Not a leader who alter a hot-headed. Always they think about is all about leadership and politics. Sometimes when you play politics at party level. When you become a national figure, that tells you are not only president for your own political party, will make you flag bearer, but you are president of the Republic of the country.
But that is what the oath of allegiance is all about.
Beyond reproach. Your character for be beyond reproach. When look at this interview we just done at BBC, it not even come for address the people of the country, for come even express sincere condolences for the loss of lives, even this very security them, we stand their ground say, indeed, this thing and this thing, we as securities will remain calm and remain loyal to the state. You understand? They don't even come for express a deepest condolences for the one that will even stand for the flag during this riot time. Say, okay, well, then people who don't lost their lives there. We express condolences for the braveness and for coming to the public with the protesters, and they will stay until this incident and lost their lives there. You see, this is a dishonest service to the leadership. You not go come, you there out of the country, then situation like this don't happen. All of a sudden, you take a BBC interview, you blame the opposition and all of this. 4 years down the line, all you think about opposition, you blame everything on the opposition. You come, even you traveling, you blame on the opposition, say because the opposition be don't damage with international reputation. You blame even you travel one, say it's as a result of the fact the past government be don't damage with international reputation. So I will continue for fly. You they fly, but you are not bringing the good news. You are not bringing the goodies for us as citizens. The young people and the young people now don't believe now. Say now lip service you play to the country.
Lip service.
And they
lip service to the occasion.
This is not about service indeed. It's not about SFP. It's about the nation.
Yes, lip service indeed. But if I can just jump on which are the sage sources and orchestrated plan. When you look at our report, and that's why I always tell me we compatriate them when SLPP friends them, brothers and sisters in the SLPP. When they in the habit of reading government text, then they online. Go read the GTT Government Transition Report 2018 Sierra Leone. with specific reference on paragraph 65. That was where the seed of division was actually planted by Professor David Francis. And this is what he said. He said the government of President Ernest Bai Koroma, in all the 11 years wait and take, they not construct or refurbish any road. They not do anything that developmental thing na Kenema. Because Kenema population is predominantly Mendes and a pro-SLPP. Listen to this. How can somebody talk caustic like this? He say they no plants, they not do anything there because Kenema is predominantly Mendes. Specifically, it's not us.
Look at this. Look at this. I know Kenema very well. Now they grow up. Now they grow up.
Yeah.
Places like Blama Road.
Yeah.
Places like Kambia Road.
Kambia Road. Exactly.
Smaller streets. These are all roads. They don't do the drainages and they quota the place. Even down to the very day of election, 2018 election, construction be ongoing at both Bo and Kenema. So what is this? What the politics is all about?
Yes,
even right. The Kailan Road, the Daru Bridge, the powerful Daru Bridge during the war. You understand? And that bridge during the war, when they killed Les Rambo, the rebel leader. You understand? That bridge was the new Daru Bridge was constructed by President Ernest Bai Koroma.
Comrade, I am not from Kenema, and thank God I have somebody where grow up and born at that side. Me no day. But I was lucky enough for being the Secretary General of the APC GTT review committee. We review the GTT, and I was the secretary. So as a secretary, I be getting the opportunity for see government files. It was a blatant lies. I don't know none of the.
It's not just lies, but these are diabolical lies just for fair way for inciting tension against the APC. You know, and that is the service to the nation. But at the end of the day, they were part of the committee. They were brought in again as ministers.
Exactly.
I remember listening to them when things then go wrong about the hardship and all that thing. When corruptions, like how corruption they rise and president build government. I hear where they mention about if anything they happen issue of corruption, they can blame the civil servants there. But you don't blame the civil servants inside the transition committee report. You blame the politicians. You blame the ministers. And the ministers were taken to commission of inquiry. And when I exonerate most of the people who are people of interest to when I be former ministers, they when I exonerate them and when I capture those who want to get interest of. That's all is the service to the nation.
And in fact, brother, you know, when we don't do we research, then we get the first press conference in a party office, Sierra Leone. Then I be get my first appearance. I think it was SLBC. It was a 2 hours program. Myself, Ibrahim Tommy, and then Tawa, Honorable Tawa, and then also this civil society. I will remember his name soon because he insisted on go quiet now. Lately, you know, it's a fine gentleman. Where Thomas More Conte. You understand? So this is a thing where I ask Tawa. I say, are you telling me but then I did not be appointed body. Are you telling me what Professor David Francis did talk? He even get a compass for talker because look at how the GTT review committee was constituted. How many people? I think there were 18 of them or something like that. 15 are all Southerners and Mende.
In fact, Nayanda president.
So how can you have a committee for a party when one country? You get 18 people we form a government transition report, and 15 of them are Mendes from the south. Then you accuse the outgoing government for say the tribal.
No, the thing about me, I am not worried about who is Mendes in that committee because I'm not too worried about the issue of tribe. My concern is how you gonna make those players, how you gonna make them people and the referees, they bring them back as players. You understand? That is the dishonest side of the leadership of the country. You don't go make Professor Francis as head of the committee, then Dennis Sandy, you bring them all back again as ministers. You understand? that committee should have been independent. We get non-governmental organizations, we get civil society organizations, we get citizens who are not politicians. They should have been brought into that.
Let me hold you there for a sec. Let me hold you there for a sec. And this is what Ibrahim Tommy said. When it come, it give all in shenanigans. I ask him. I say, Ibrahim Tommy, you don't get na the CSO world for a very long time. You know how an ESCOMA be constituted in GTT review committee, where include who not the CSOs. It include journalists. It include different agencies them away from the government. Are you not worried that the exclusion of all of these agencies and making the GTT review committee exclusively strong SLPP members, are you not worried? You know what he say? He say, you're not worried. That's what Ibrahim say, Danny, you know, bother them as long as they encounter reports. But this is it. It's by design, you know. Then people are the but anyway, what we talk about tonight, we can go on a quick break. When we come again, we can focus on the leadership. And don't forget, let's say charities begins at home. So we are going to use the last section of this program for do an introspect on the work of the APC 21-man committee. This is very, very important. We're not going to sit on this platform. We're not going to sit on this platform for talk about what SLPP is doing wrong. And we're not also focus on our own party, what is happening there, that we need to engage our party and talk to them. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. I think I will just give us something. Let us say relax. This is ABS, and the time don't they go now, UK 9:19. And I get some comrade Igalo here in name na Mohammed Kamara, and with me, ABS leading the conversation. Relax and follow the program.
Roland sings.
Democracy is power for the people. Power of the people. Power by the people. When our government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. A government of tyranny is an oppressive and a wicked government. I say, when a government fears the people, there is liberty. But when the people fear the government, there is tyranny. Democracy is power for the people, for the people. Power of the people, of the people. Power by the people, by the people. Democracy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the APC UKI online TV platform. With me, ABS leading the conversation. Today, we talk about the leadership qualities and what is absent. What do we think say is absent in our president, His Excellency President Julius Maada, when at the aspects of compassion, say he's very heartless in the way we do things, and we don't do one aspect just now. We don't happen after the 2018 elections when people then die. We expect say a compassionate leader for come in and bring the country together and reach out to people and families that we lost them their lives. Some of them it was accidental, it's not something of their own making, then just find themselves at the wrong place and the wrong side, so they find themselves in that place. So we expect a president, when we own president at that material moment, if we're able to come in and then bring the country together, but he never did, you know. So that is not all. What else happened? We get a massacre na Pademba Road. Scores of inmates were killed. And we also get one female prison officer sadly lost in life. Just as you've had the president peddling a barrage of lies in on a globally listening program, which is BBC. That was exactly what President Bio did. And as we are talking about political tribalism, as my co-host was saying to you guys not too long ago, he talks about his constant or his habit of peddling propagandas. He blamed the APC then. When they kill people in Apademba Road, President Bio, is President Bio not in record where he talks say APC is responsible for this? I've not listened to the interview today. But if I take the words of me comrade, I don't know if he talk about APC this time around, I don't know. But I heard Comrade Igalo talking about blaming opposition parties. But this is the same precedent where he don't machinate the killing of people in Apademba Road. He used the presidential guard for go kill people in Apademba Road. We get the disgraced former women's leader of the SLPP, Fatmata Sawane, and Lima. They all say during a public health emergency where every person for day now, okay, Lima, we understand, is a deputy minister of defense. This president come out and blame APC squarely, say na APC machinates the Pademba Road massacre. What happened? Later on, he constituted a committee for let it investigate. These are not this. That's why we say APC UKI online TV platform with a push forget the truth. Again, I advise go online. The report is there. The president constituted that committee that came up with that report, and in that report, one of the key factors when they say in lead to the riots, now the conditions of the prison inmates. They use for the pull them at a certain time, they can exercise and do other things them. All of a sudden, because of COVID bidet, they stop for pull them, and it led to the same discontent as what happened yesterday. It's a liar, and this is integrity. As when I've been listening, that policeman is the way they talk about the leader, because when you don't have integrity, then you don't have compassion. That is the thing. If you don't get compassion, then you end up for be a very good leader. And that's what we're saying. And this approves. President Bill lied to us for say, na APC do am. So if you come against today and can't lie, but people but until saying that we call some, I just want to play a Igalo before you come in. I did play a quick video because this video don't actually capture the imagination of a lot of people. What?
What's your name? Sit down. What's your name? My name is Pastor Amadou Piwa. What's your name? I'm the CEO of Kala Body Agency, the chief crown president of the SFDP. So what you can do inside police and the riot? Inside people in the riot? Observation? Yes, sir. So why they say you slap a police officer? I get evidence and proof. I don't lie. Evidence day. I got the documents as you can see, the old one senior SLPP man said they come from monitor the situation, but the police then say he slap one police officer. I make the Ola, but the man they deny the allegation. Yeah? But they continue to follow they monitor the situation and follow up every situation they happen. Now the man in Motokadis, now the man in Bikudis, yeah, but they continue to monitor the situation as the situation.
Not me. the evidence. You know, when you take power, then give power now a sub-Saharan African states, the people are powerless. They know the talk. If this thing touch wood now UK happen, they don't know how it happened. Now President Bio, they lie to now say now opposition and do the thing. Disrespect to the people of Sierra Leone. It's an affront to even the suffering conditions of the people. But that's man, these are not my videos. Now creating the talk and a police officer can deal with somebody allegedly say he's a suspected man will be there within the riots. Because this is something where, and then I like something where Solomon Jamiru basically talk in audio interview, ladies and gentlemen, I will find them very soon. There's words where he talk. It's very, very important. Just one, if I can permit me, for let I read. He says something there, then Igalo, you can come in. Let's just dig there and watch there quickly because it's very intriguing. You know, President Bio know about this in Deputy Minister of Attorney General and then Minister of Defense don't come in and even tell them, say, that is not the way to go. You understand? And all of a sudden income and try for the people of Sierra Leone. You know, but the fact is waiting, if I find that video later, that bringing comrade, then at the play and for we listen to what Solomon Jamil will say. But one of the key highlights of his audio, comrade, is that he said not put so much blame, say it's a lack of security, preparation, and other things. Them security, then do their own. They say the problem when we get na Sierra Leone, not a problem we get for do with something. They say, in fact, it's a very core elements where the stakeholders in governance, they're all supposed to work together for make decisions. So this guy is telling us about what are the fundamentals of democracy, dialogue. They say this thing has been mortgaged. And because of that, decisions have not been able to come in the interest of the people. And it continue further for say, without disrespect to the people where they tell President Bio, make he use the security apparatus for go hard on the protesters them or anybody who gets something against. They say this is not the right approach in Sierra Leone. They say what we get for do is follow able for sit down and dialogue. So come on in, my brother. You don't see this. Now you listen to basically the president in submission na BBC. I didn't get a chance to listen to that. So what do you have to say?
Yeah, thank you very much. Apparently, we are from Mr. Listens from Mojamero in Odio, where they address the issue of leadership in the country, because I have to say one of the key focus now how the leadership of Manova were able to bring all state actors together for ensure that they get a common platform for think about development of the country. Now then they a message the try for send. Not to say even those with the advice president for come more harder. They say it's not a good advice. All waiting them for do and for ensure that they for bring all parties together, even people who are aggrieved, people who then say they are not important, but they are part of the elements of riots or elements of things the way they happen. They should all be part of the dialogue. Now that is so much. In actual sense, it try for send a message say, when you're not a leader, your character for be beyond reproach. That is to say, when things happen, it's not just about you and your government ministers or people who share the same political interests, but it's about the country at large. President Bio de favor realize say we are living in a multi-party democracy, whereas even in the House of Parliament, we get 3 or 4 different political parties, including the primary chiefs that are representing the nation. So when you are making decisions or when things are happening, you not for only rely on your own political alliance, but if you rely on everybody in the country because everybody important, including the hungry young people, including the citizens where they suffer the skyrocketing prices, including people who they suffer for transportation, people who they suffer for access health facilities, people who they suffer in the country for move from one village to another for gain survival, but transportation not available, and transportation they at a very high increase. Petrol just to go. All of this now for tell you see when you are engaging, you have to engage all those concerns. But if situations like this not going to happen, then you say is a politically machinated something. It's very mischievous from you, the leader. I say I listened to a BBC interview. They not even tell where the interview on a BBC today. where they make those allegations say this is politically machinated. And these people will do this now, terrorist them. You can't refer to your own citizen, you're not the leader, say they want to terrorist them and they don't cause this havoc. But in the very interview, it was very clear that you mentioned about unemployed youths. Even the Minister of Youth Affairs, they disgrace. It was even on CNN. They elaborate on the issue, they put the blame on the APC. Why you for do that? You youth minister are not able to provide job opportunities for young people. Young people are not get job opportunities. You are not create that kind of an environment. The ministry is also quiet. But yes, still when the young people rise to the occasion, try for render the dissatisfaction over things that will happen at the country, they all of a sudden when I say it's politically machinated. How long are we going to continue this as a nation?
And you know why? And comrade, as I say, you know why then they do so? You know, this information, I can always say, for let me able to understand how government and they behave better, let us be in the habits of reading. I encourage everybody for research on what's called political tribalism governance, system of governance. One of the strand, the characteristic we hold them na propaganda. This is how they survive. Lies, wacky conspiracies. And that's why you see,
the problem with political propaganda.
Yeah.
When the economy is not stable, the exchange rates will expose you. And then they happen right now inside the government.
Exactly. So that's what they do. And because a political tribalism oriented system of governance, they survive through propaganda. When this thing don't happen, we understand they don't hold so many meetings them. All of a sudden, everybody is on the rampage for peddle those lies, wacky conspiracies, for tell you say now the opposition. Even though the international, and that's why I said to, I don't want to name names. I've been on one platform, a platform where a social media WhatsApp group. When I tell somebody they talk about these laws and all that, tell and say the white people then get snooping capability past we. They know what's in the happen at the country. They're very quick for say, and in fact, it's now a trending trend. If I put it that way, now a trending trend. There's a lot of discontent all over the world due to hardship. You cannot twist that fact. And when you get a government where they talk to the citizens, the last time when we see the former Minister of Finance, we now the Chief Minister, we then go ask him na AYV about the bread and butter business where him be the promise.
Yeah, he was so arrogant. He was so arrogant.
He said salon people when to get boku talk.
Exactly. He was so arrogant in other months.
That's how they speak.
So you see there's a disconnect between then when they as executive arm of government and the citizens. There's a big disconnection.
Exactly. And that's very important thing, Igalo, especially for one of the youth where they come up, I can tell people them. Don't be faced with somebody telling you saying a professor. Yes, education achievement is a key thing, but it's not the only thing. The key thing where Motama they drive society go forward. Education is key, but with my they call them competency. Competency is different from education achievements. Like degrees and those. No, it's a two different thing. So what we have here, we have a barrage or what's it called of professors, dominion, PhD holders, and all that. We rise from the ruins of the fringe, come and then form a government. So they see the level of ineptitude because you get your education, but you are not clued, especially for manage a country in a post-conflict state like Sierra Leone, where we said development is floundering. A day at that trajectory for quite a long time. We're not putting that blame day to them. Then when you come, they make it manifesto, they make promises. Be careful. Be careful what you say.
ABS, for tell you say the government is on the wrong footing for address citizens and concerned. That I just see one press release from the petroleum industry. Say they don't reduce the petrol from 19,000.
Exactly. Just after this problem.
Just after the incident happened, now they can reduce. So meaning this is a calculated ploy for tease the citizens of the country. When they react now, based on what they happen at the country, then at the end of the day, you as a leader, president of the Republic of the country, You know, the outline say there is what we call unemployment for the young people, but at the same time, you can't blame the opposition saying that they orchestrate the peaceful demonstration where the citizens then take upon for render the dissatisfaction, say things are not going right. Then you turn back again mischievously as a leader of the country and can't blame the opposition. What a disgrace and embarrassment to our democracy. It's really sad because even internationally, they continue for thanks the repetition of the country. Meaning those development partners, people who can invest in the country, they all will become scared because you self as a leader, you they help for sell the country badly, say there is political instability.
Thank you so much, comrade. Thank you so much, comrade.
You as a leader, you know, sometimes we can watch, we follow up. We follow up, we read about them leaders there, how they manipulate the system. Just so then we're able to get a way out for manipulate them people them and the mass system, we're loyal to them. Because to me, as a young educated young man, we're really exposed and I know what's right and what's wrong. I know I can't sit down and I will listen to the president, mischievously lie to the country. Then I go take a hook and sinker and say just because we all dance now the same political colors. It is very wrong.
Because you are informed. You're one of
I'm informed. So I see all those things that these are all mischievous things the way you do, just so that. But in the actual sense, you said they put the country in a bad light because if you they mention say you refer to your citizens for be terrorists, then how you expect an investor for camp invest inside terrorists? Then
God bless you. God bless you.
So there's nothing like wisdom. I'll continue for question, even to my Bosco brothers. I continue for question the wisdom of President Bio. Say he lacks wisdom for bring people together. He lacks wisdom how for even go about to articulate in your vision. Because at the end of the day, for any time where a gap for explain to the public or to international community, the finance say it damage the reputation of the nation. Because
make I just hold you there. Make I just hold there quickly, you know, and that's what I like about Igalo. He's a very talented and articulate young man. You they talk about a government, a country's reputation. Are you aware that it is an entrenched clause now the constitution say every citizen, it get the responsibility for promote the good image of the country. So
yeah, it is.
So here is the thing.
Unfortunately, I don't think the president even get time for good food in very constitution.
But you get people around. But what I want to say, Comrade Igalo, and just for buttress on the things that we don't say, if they fly here and there say you want to rebrand the country, then all of a sudden, if they paint you citizens saying that the country say the country is full of terrorists, who's going to invest? It's like me take a blind of fish, a blind way full of fish. Me na fishmonger. I go na dove court. I begin say, "Una come buy me rotten fish or me fish get tumbu, me fish get tumbu."
No, but let me bring something to you and let the listeners and listen. And the BBC interview I just listened with President Bill, they talk about the incident where happened today. Invariably, it quietly exposed and trips them because one officer said consciously aware of what he don't talk. They say in England on health issues, it gets on health challenges them, and they try for do medication. You understand it? So cleverly, me don't know now. Say most of the foreign trips the way they do, they get for do a health issue because if he mentioned that in passive from the BBC interview, I listen to him. You understand? He say he go on UN and he get for go on UNESCO, blah blah blah, and back up with health issues. But you as a president, you citizens, the hospitals the way they you know very well say there are poor medical facilities in the country. You as a president, you don't lead by example. This is a problem we have with our leaders, leading by example. You're not gonna Connaught Hospital, you're not gonna Cottage Hospital at all. You're not gonna 34 Hospital. You're on our way going to London. You take on medical. The EU citizen. Then at the country, then they go to those hospitals. How you expect them for survive if you, as a president, as a leader of the country, you don't lead by example? You dey fly go abroad for medication, meaning you don't even believe on the health system. That tells you the country into serious health challenges. If you, as a leader, you don't lead by example, You escape your hospital then in Sierra Leone. You can in London. They mention that in the public, in an international station. You mention, say, you dey England back again on the health issues. That tells you that you're not even ready for sit down for make a country. You believe in other people in your own country for do medication for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, comrade. And I think say we will come pretty soon for go now the second aspect of we program today, because as I say, charity begins at home. APC is a government in waiting. So therefore, if we hold the current governments accountable for wrongdoings, it is also our responsibility, and as true sons and daughters of the APC, for all we party on areas them we all we party responsible on areas we feel say they get a tendency for put BBM. We'll do so with respect, and tonight we're going to look at, we did do an introspection of the 21-man committee vis-a-vis the latest press releases, counter press releases, the TV appearances of some members of the 21-man committee, and then radio appearances of some members of the 21-man committee. Because in all of this, waiting or up not Sierra Leone, so don't tell we say the people of Sierra Leone want a change. But if we are coming in as an alternative, we say he who seek equity must come with clean hands, and we have to come with clean hands. And in order for us to do so, we should be able to look to do an introspect in the APC and call some of those things. We get a tendency for old way back. We get a tendency for confuse the electorate, because I listened to Honorable AKK, a very dynamic of MP in constituency 059 Kambia district, and I take one of the sound bites where he say currently in Sierra Leone the people are not for even know what is happening, whether this argument is going on, that they just want change. So it's up to the current opposition, which is the APC, for kind of governance or not, as a result of we infighting. That's what Comrade AKK say. And in that delivery, Radio 98.1, it say for now, it say at the call on people we get integrity. Stakeholders the way get integrity, and he named people them. He called Ambassador Mami Petito, he called Rita Conte, he called Ambassador Usman Fodi and Sané, he called a host of others. Them say they need for Paulo Conte and all the likes. He said they come in for act as well, not exactly as moral guarantor, but people who they come in and try to break the barrier, because it seems to us there's been a stalemate in the 21-man committee, which comprises of predominantly young people. And one of the things, as you be a member of the National Youth League, when I get a song where when I can talk about, say, Anes don't actually promote youth man and for take with them call. But what is happening here in the 21-man committee, we're full of youth people, very young people. What I'm saying, I'm not saying by definition of the age 35 now, we 2022 constitution, but these are young men. You know, the current secretary, for the very first time, we get a very eloquent and very, thorough Secretary General in the name of Honorable Abu Kagbo. These are all young people. So we have to ask ourselves, why is the difficulties in the 21-man committee? But before they do, I just want to relax for just 5 minutes and actually watch this video, because, some of these things, we don't even want for talk. We just want for play and let people actually get an understanding. Then we can move to the next segment of we show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Mina Comrade ABS with plenty people. ABS way Mina Abubakar Kagbo is the name. We're now a host, now the everyday politics monologue show. And I get with me, my comrade, when I comrade Igalo Mohamed Kamara. Relax and watch the show.
Was already. C'est pas des boutons.
ladies and gentlemen, there is no undertone in playing that video. I mean, try forget a video where say soldier, oh soldier. I want, you know, where APC will go up now by force barracks. I want for actually salute we gallant military officers. We don't show we an exemplary professionalism in yesterday's problem will be happen at Sierra Leone. If them be follow the Mambu, if them be follow all the ships of the wolves, CSOs hiding in sheep clothing, they be follow. I don't want to forgive some people even importance for that calling him. I will not. You understand? You know. And honestly, if I don't get a bloodbath in Sierra Leone yesterday, for be terrible, because I kid you not, the amount of people who come on the streets was unbelievable. You know, and not just in Freetown, but it happened in other parts of the country. So what this some people do way them be want now for the military them they actually react and cause a bloodbath in the country. This is what some people want to see, you know, and I get plenty of materials them. I'm not telling a lie. I do a thorough research on this program, but I sat down before coming to this show. I say some people in get for be the patriots. I don't want to play those materials because if I play those materials, then get the tendency for actually cause resentment in some people because when you listen to them, it's very caustic. I'm sure some of Funam apology. I know will bring those things anymore. I think say it's now a moment for we come and talk to people and preach a message of unity and ask the President Bill, you after we don't get a Pademba Road massacre, you made a speech. In that speech, there's nothing like I regret as a president for the loss of lives in Pademba Road. They are inmates, but there are conventions them we protect them. They are already in captive, then they're in a confined space. The government of the day gets a responsibility. They have rights to life. The sanctuary of human life was desecrated on that day. What could you have, what if we don't do as a leader? And this is why I'm saying in all of these things will happen. And if you read a book with them call Why Nations Fail, Why Nations Fail, please. Anything I tell una go read. They talk about a lot of components them, but they say the factor where they make country actually fail, where they can say a failed states. Now the political dimension of a society. It's got nothing to do with economics. It's got nothing to do with the social fabric. Because then they can say the economic dimension and then also the social dimension are crucial. Don't get me wrong. But the pulley we all them, or the base we all for let the social and the economic aspects work in synchrony with the political aspect when at the base, we say then two pillars they rest, then say at the political dimension. If the political dimension is not working in the interest of the citizens, then the social aspects will be very, 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 very difficult. People, they go after people. People, they become very divisive. A lot of things that will happen. So it's the politics. If President Biobi don't lead by example, after the massacre na Pademba Road, after the killing at Tonkolimba, after the killing na Makeni, after the killing at Tombo, President Biobi ever come and say, I regret for the loss of lives. So therefore, my heart goes to the victims' families. If President Bio has done that, he practice a leadership where they bring we come together. Surely, you don't follow us, them, not for the peddle this kind of deep-seated hates where they wish for carnage take place in the country. Because in a political tribalism setting, they say the leadership is very key. The leadership is the center of information and the overriding principle of a political tribal-oriented governance, now obedience to the leader. So they see all the while you want for commit suicide, we can cause problem na social media. They talk about kill all those northerners, do this, do that. They are just copying from the leader. So Now we dey move to another aspect of this show. I dey bring Comrade Igalo. I'm going to stretch this show tonight. This is about the APC now. And if you tilt your camera again, tilt your camera, I dey see you the other way. The aid they go in a diagonal shape. Yes, but it's not where it did landscape, but for some reason, before I bring you live again, it tilts. I promise you, it tilts. Yeah, now you see them straight, but you know, so at the wait, let Comrade Igalo try for the moments where you don't get your camera properly, then I they bring you cam. I they see that the 8 day up, but it's just kind of narrow. The picture is very, very narrow. So we are going to talk about the APC, ladies and gentlemen. We don't see very recently the 21-man committee that was constituted by court order issued by Adrian Fisher, Justice, for letting them come, then people ask to then give it a transition to we conventions them so that we're able to get substantive executive across all levels. But again, let me be very, very clear, and I want to say this. Everything within the happen so now that judgment, with the 21-man committee, are kidding not. Yes, that is fine now. So just make you aid, let you aid count small. Yes, better. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, okay. At the acceptance. So what I'm saying here, Comrade Igalo, I have said much of what is happening here. We're here to do an introspection in the work of the 21-man committee so far. But I think they say everything gets a departure. Let us go back to the judgment. The way the judge actually carefully choose for bringing a 21-man committee, and the way it constitutes and say Alfred Peter Conte inside will get a nine people and then go get the leadership. And traditionally in politics, a leader call the shots. Then all of a sudden, it say let the APC then count to 12 people the APC party. They say every decision way then they make the 21-man committee it for be by simple majority votes. Don't you think that was a recipe for let chaos day, for let convergence or consensus take place? Come on in, sir.
Well, we they follow up closely in politics, and we read books, novels, we for do political decision. We see that there as a calculated ploy by the judge and the Fisher. You know very well say it's going to be like a divide and conquer strategy. Then get one book when a Robert Greening book where they talk about the 48 laws of past, where to talk about leadership, how to divide people, then you go always there at the realm of affairs. And that they exactly the court do in the judgment. They know very well say after Peter Conte now ain't go be the chairman, they get 9 people, he make 9. And then say the parliament forgive, but 8 or so. Then they forget representative from the Youth League and forget from the Women's Congress. Knowing very well say the representative from parliament and that of Youth League and the Women's Congress, then go there one side with parliament decisions, you understand? And Peter Conte go there on the other side. Then set the stage for like unity and peace. No, they know say they no go ever reach at consensus. But the most disheartening thing and disappointing thing are that when they institute this committee, we see a situation whereas the committee then be able to come together for resolve certain issues and where it come for make them do elections. Would I go hold this position within the committee? Would I go hold that position? They agree unanimously and they end up forget everybody into committees and people hold position. We know alala, we know do say until we then can get the first press conference to the public, where they announce say they don't get the executive up and running, they don't get people responsible for the manifest, people responsible for establish the rules them, they don't get people who are responsible for finances and everything. So there was peace and quietness when they come together and do that press conference. But after that situation happened, we don't see the service where they go on within the very 21-man committee. In the last program, I make an vehemently clear say this is not a blame game only go be stationed to only Peter Conte. It's a blame game where they're all responsible as 21-man committee, because If they don't go sit down, they don't agree about whether for hold this position, whether for hold that position, ala no commodity. But where other interests don't come, the interests don't shake. Then they don't hold you, then they don't hold you. So the thing don't stall. And knowing very well, say the leader can always want bulldoze say, in are the chairman of the committee, and again right for make decisions. But the court clearly states that it should be unanimous. You mentioned about the issue of young people who are in that particular committee. Okay, we can agree to the all long past the youth age, but these are young people. Some of them don't even get the institutional political knowledge of the party. But they are there. We expect them to represent the party, not their own personal interests or the interests of people where they behind the scene, where they push them for their own political agenda. Because now that they see now they happen at the 21-man committee. Everybody within that committee, they not sincere and honest again to the party any longer. Already they're interested enough for promote people behind the scene with a political agenda, and all boils around who wants to be flag bearer. This is the saddest thing when they happen at the 21-man committee. But we go appeal to them as majority of them are young people. Let them do service to the party. Forget about people behind the scene where they push for their own interests. Let's think about the interests of APC and think about the interests of the country. We don't see situation now they happen at the country now. For anything will happen now at the country, the government of the day, they blame we with the opposition. Now with responsibility now, in fact, the courts even force we for law become united. Say we for agree and disagree. It's a give and take situation. If they don't do give and take, this don't be secretary, then they don't be financial secretary from the different establishment camps away there. Why they not able to do this service to the party by agreeing for disagree? And they move on rather than go na radio, begin the parliamentarians, like say the court puts them for let them go na school. Not to school and put on for let go. They put on for let resolve issues them we get for do with the welfare of the APC party. And una na APC people, they don't go take somebody na SLPP or PMDC or NGC for can take decision for una. Una already then na APC. But again, some of them don't get the institutional political knowledge. Integrity don't lack na the place. People don't want to take responsibility, say, we they can't sit down, let's discuss waiting get for do the welfare of the party. Not if we can't discuss the welfare of an individual outside the committee. This is not about individuals outside the committee. It's about the APC party. For goodness sake, 80% of the one way they are young people. But why would I not go disagree for agree? Why would I not go do a give and take situation? If we do give and take situation, for long and get positions within the committee. Why would I not make give and take situation as well for let peace reign at the party? The assignment to the courts don't give una. For long we will come and give it the assignment to the courts don't give una.
Comrade Igalo, I agree with you in parts, the issue of dialogue and give and take. Because and the reason why I'm saying this for a very good reason. And for putting the interests of APC and nothing else. We're talking about laws, and I talk on this stuff from the beginning of even that of President Julius Maada Bio say, the states, the characteristic of a state, very unique characteristic, one of the characteristic anyway, other characteristics then call them, then get what they call a monopoly of violence, where it's up to you for make a decision when is it expedient for use violence. Yesterday way citizens and in our streets. You understand? So what I'm saying here, this is all about education. And it's fine for all get this thing because some of us sit down as would they think APC, would they eat APC, would they sleep APC, all our attention and looking at the political trend in Sierra Leone. We've not taken an advantage of situation. The people wanted a change, but because of personal reasons. And that's why we say tonight we're going to talk about this. And I think what's in Igalo the talk here, it's about the expedience, the required decision with the 21 committee, way for day alongside what is expedient at the moment, what should be done, because the party need for move forward.
Yeah, because the court decision very clear. Una de can una just then give una na caretakers come and establish rules, come and establish transition so that we will get legitimate democratic elected people and for can serve the party. They're not tell una say una go protect interests of individuals who are vying or running for positions, or individuals who wants to be president of the country, or individuals who want to be flag bearers. not to the mandate of the court. The court tell una say, you people go and work together. I don't form this team for una. Even though me and you know say the court know and aware very well say they form they establish the way they establish, and so there will always be a conundrum. Na the committee.
Exactly.
Everybody get interest.
And that's why Igalo, in fairness, as much as we ask, because we're making all this submission because of the urgency, you understand, we did say in a conflict situation. Look at when Sierra Leone was in turmoil yesterday. They say certain things are not important anymore. Time is not in our favor. You understand?
No.
So I think what we are saying to the 21-man committee is this. If I can actually borrow from the statement of Honorable Ekeke, and I know him, for him to make that statement, so for him to have made that statement now 98.1, he's an insider. And the other thing, because we don't see a lot of washing of dirty linens outside, we are appealing to them, say, whatever is actually important for the APC in unity, in solidarity at this moment. Look at what is happening. In the midst of all the storm that is going on in Sierra Leone, we have a government where they try to push the blame. It takes solidarity amongst us for level for actually live above waters. If that solidarity is not there, my team is right, your team is wrong, you are evil, I am the most beautiful person, we're not going to progress. So it's experience that in the midst of all the storm, Igalo, I think the message here, instead of even calling the Dr. Mara, calling the Petito, these are human beings. Because the fear where some of we get is this. No disrespect to some of these comrades, but we're not oblivion of the fact that a lot of chaos will happen at the 21-man committee as a result of the interest of people outside the 21-man committee will override that of the objective of the 21-man committee, which is for steer away to a transition and we will forget substantive executive, and by then APC actually evolve. So there's people outside. I'm not saying pointing at them people here where they mention say, but they're not far away from, because this is in a stakeholders. And because politics is an interest-oriented game, all of them people here, so we can't even trust them. Because if they are they sit down behind the scene, then they couldn't say tukla, then they push. Then they tell Alfred Peter Conte, say no grill, you're not chairman. Then people there, don't tell them they said, oh, press we. Some are saying this, oh, we're not grill, bring this kind of thing, because the Samura Kamara camp this, that. And then they talk about no grill, Samura Kamara they in pole position. Then they come no grill, my team is right. All of this is not grill, win a big six. Now who forgets this? What is the way forward? And this is the stalemate in the 21-man committee. Can't we sit for once and look at what happened yesterday and say, in politics, situation can change fairly arbitrarily? Can't we think about this? We are not in control. As much as we plan things then for wreck the party, and I mean everybody in the 21-man committee, if we're pushing self-interest, we're not able to carry, we go no side. And Alfred Peter Conte, you are the leader of the 21-man committee. In a situation like this, leadership should prevail. You fought with the feeling that you can't change things them at the APC. Yes, we don't know what's in at the background. I am speaking to Alfred Peter Conte, our comrade. Welcome again. That he is a leader, and he fought in I don't want to say pretext, in his belief that there's been a lot of wrongdoings in the APC party, so therefore APC cannot continue in that trajectory. That's why this guy went to court, and then he had a ruling. But in that ruling, there was never a clear-cut winner, because even there's been this misconception about the ruling that whosoever that had served in the previous executive structure of the APC can no longer vie. That is a diabolical lies. Why are we doing this? Talk about the issue of unresolved membership. I'm not a lawyer, but there's a section in that ruling which talks say the membership issue has to be resolved now in National Delegates Conference. So I'm saying here, everybody is important. But if we are going to change from waiting we don't do before, this is where dialogue comes into play. Because the courts want for let APC, this quote and unquote, for we go before, even though the way that judgment was actually reached, we know say it was a trap for let APC shackled by some kind of animosity, never-ending animosity. So it's up to our own wisdom as a political party for say, guess what? 2000, before 2007, we had nearly 15 lawsuits, but we moved away from that. What we did was for put the party interest first. People gave up. Somebody has to make sacrifice. All of us have to make sacrifice for ensure that the APC party move on. If we cannot move on now, look at the way when the raid now, we make for understand, say, even a comrade called People's Power, if that report was true, he was intercepted by police. Last night, they raid a lot of comrade chairman, them who they look if whether it's true, that's unconfirmed. They say they raid some chairman, they houses them. This is what they're doing. And we don't hear what see and this Mother Bureau talk. It puts the blame squarely on the opposition. And I kid you not, Mother Bill is not a focus on NGC or C4C. In biggest threats or a challenge we intake as a threat is the APC. In no saying that APC gets the political capital in Sierra Leone. Now we get the numerical strength for
it's the only alternative.
Yes,
it's the only
alternative government. He knew about this, comrade. You understand? So I think, comrade, what we are doing tonight, because guess what? In this program, where they talk to genuinely from your heart, you get people even within the diaspora, and I just know where they try for they take misconstrue the message and begin talking about it. But
yeah, but we not there for compromise the truth. We are not here, and we should not be humbled by the fear syndrome at all. We're not there for compromise the truth. We are going to see the truth. Let the committee know, say they have a mandate and they have a responsibility for let it establish what's in the court say. Not to go promote people their interests or for go back people who become flag bearer. I keep saying, me, my interest is my party. Anybody can be flag bearer and I'm a party. I have to support that individual. Because at the end of the day, it's all about their own interests. People that come and they fight, it's about their personal interests, not the interests of the party and the country. And we need the country for go before. And if peace not a reign at the APC party, how you think so we will form a government at the end of the day when things are going wrong presently in Sierra Leone? We keep blaming President Bio about the wrongdoings in the country. But we as a party will not able up to date, then give mandates to 21 people for let them run the affairs of the party and give it a peaceful transition where get for do democracy. Then go there and sit down within themselves, they able agree and disagree without for holding position. But where can now on the issue of the real thing where the court tell them for do, they don't begin the direct foot, then they go on radio, they pan letter writing. It's really sad as a party, you're more especially the young people already they they expect a lot more from them for let them know say they forget an independent mind and therefore think APC. They don't for think about individuals just alone. Because Peter Conte and it don't become very clear say he is there supporting an interest because a recent press release about reinstating Chief Sam Sumana, it don't clearly state say inside gets your representation. And I even do understand say it gets an interest in another individual where they only push them just for ensure say there is chaos and confusion within themselves. They're not able to sit down for able to resolve.
And that's why if I can respectfully interject you, Comrade Mohamed Kamara, aka Igalo, this issue of interest, and I think saying that I make a lot of people even they get venom against Alfred Peter Conte because
again, not the interest, you know they put interest.
And this is my take. I think, well, another school of thought can say, get no other option because now fights a good fight or whatever, bad fight, would say he gets a judgment. Wait for me, I don't see nobody will win. But waiting for Bidon for not recuse himself from even the leadership. That shows say a calm, just like what seeing Mandela do. You understand? He fight, you know what? I'm not gonna go a second time. Because when you don't win, and also An institution like the APC, you require a very thorough institutional knowledge for a lead APC, especially at a time like this. So when you come there as somebody, when a mature politician,
well, this is where again I will come to blame the leadership of parliament, because he knows it well. You know, it is sometimes we not for put sentiment, we put people into position just because they for go protect your interested. We get very senior and seasoned APC parliamentarians away for be able to come and able to take leadership exactly like they like to do. Don't go far on this transition. One, I know look like them Ajibola Mali Spain. Look like them Koto Ibide. These are seasoned politicians. We don't they get the institutional knowledge about the party. Believe me, if therefore we don't select them people and they day to that committee, there is no need where come with AKK honorable for begin call Richard Conte them, begin call Petito them, other people behind the scene, where they say equally one become flag bearer, they are all parts of the problem. For call them back again, say let them can sit down, or let them can iron out with the apple. But they give una mandate. The mandate is simple. Why una no go dey pan this give and take situation? Say una manage una self, una reach to the point. But it's all about their own interest. Everybody within, to be honest, I don't get the conviction. Say everybody within that committee is all about they have interest they are protecting. It's not about it.
According to Igalo, within that committee, they get an interest.
It gets an interest. It's not about the APC.
Or disagree
it's
with,
not about the APC.
Igalo.
If not about the APC, then for able to disagree for agree and move on. Because already we need now for let them go able to give you a transition. By then, so for don't they think, okay, now look at the laws, the rules that we establish where PPRC we don't gazette. I think the 11 if I don't come to effect. The other issue back again for can foresee them for can select the 24 or 25 man electoral committee for look into the affairs of the respective lower level elections, state council, regions, and other stuff. There is going to be a problem back again. How they for select those people? Everybody get for candidate. I be don't hear the secretary they mention say the leadership when the Peter Conte they request or they lobby say they forget people them on the union side with them for put to those committees. But this is not about people. This is about a party. Don't put your own interest above all else. It is wrong, even at the national pledge.
But again, Comrade Igalo, you know, sometimes we want for push within what they call a Puritan belief in politics. Say politics has to be pure, and as we say so. But much of it, whatever happen or the outcome of this, it will always remain as a game of interest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a game of interest, but the interest not for surpass the interest of the general good. This is where the problem is. Take for instance, come with ABS, you and I don't have any personal interest for protect anybody interest in this party. Our interest now for ensure that we party there together and then readiness for invict mother beyond our power, given the fact say it don't fail the nation. But we cannot hold him responsible as a party when we know we keep your house together. Even though some of you will know and aware of the political dynamics in the country, we know say the court established the structures for the 21-man committee purposely for let them fail.
For let not get consensus.
Exactly, for let them fail. But
yes.
Me go blame the young people away they day, when are they then at the majority, when they're not able to see reasons of the fact say they set them for let them fail and they're not for fail at all. Therefore, take responsibility as young people, take responsibility for ensure that we get peace.
So you mean young people? You mean young people across the aisle, both Alfred Peter Conte inside
both sides. I can name them both sides. They are all young people. Most of them all on practice politics at student level, so can youth league, even AKK. AKK is a colleague. Now all we done the youth league all this why. You understand? So I mean, it's really heart-rending for like when they see the Nana radio, then they can bastardize each other, use words, invectives against each other. You know, then just put on a committee. They say una can't get transition to this party. They're not put on a say una go fight for individual interests. And enough for be so because the party they strain right now. We already we are all hanging. But again, I go want use this opportunity for call on with the Diaspora leaders them. We leaders our respective branches, they say get role and responsibility for play into this thing because we are equally financial guarantors to the party. So if they spend with money, then at the end of the day, things like this they go wrong. Let's say get rights for make the necessary phone calls, be liberal as much as possible, and try for reach out. If possible, we need even a delegation from the diaspora team. Whether for able go, let's say go be part of the process, for talk to the young people there, talk to the committee members there. Let them see reasons with the party, and let them see reasons with the dying nation. Sierra Leone is suffering. They need APC in 2023. The only alternative we now have is for the transition committee to give us a peaceful transition. We get with democracy, we vote with leaders, and whosoever emerge for the flag bearer, we rally behind them. It doesn't matter if you don't affect this person, you don't affect that person. Yes, there's always challenges in leadership. We always go fight each other. We don't fight each other to finish.
As the saying goes, Igalo, they say leadership comes from God, isn't it? So the number to call tonight
exactly. That is the belief I have. That is the belief I have. Yes. I mean, not they go fight to finish because I want to be X, Y, Z. No. Now, God, we don't see people and don't die. Take the time they reach for leadership, they are not there any longer. You know, so this issue of fighting, protecting interests, at the end you go left protected, you go make enemy. The person where they fight now can become leader. How you go back again to Ratel and say, sorry, there will be no trust. There will be no trust. Inside party world, not fight with sincerity. We not for fight for interest. That committee has been married with interest. Everybody where they now for protect your interest. The blame will not only go to Africa Conte. The blame will even go to the MPs and other people where they are not doing service to the party. They are doing disservice to the party by protecting individual interests outside the committee.
And make I just make a disclaimer quick to the viewers, the Mona they watch me. And by the way, you can call us now. The number to call if you're calling in the UK, the number is 0744 833 8290. If you call outside the UK, now the number is +44 7833 8290. If you call WhatsApp, anywhere where you day, make sure say, especially if you outside the UK, save the number +44 744 833 8290. They even for calling WhatsApp is a be part of the program because we talk about a very important topic, which is we do an introspect on the 21-man committee, and we do this without any prejudice. We do this because, and the only reason because someone can say, someone gets, you don't talk this now. Why are these guys they sit on our platform and talk about in the Apple APC? Of course, we for talk about them because the people in way we don't put when at the 21-man committee the court established, we saw them in an open, a globally view. Was a TV and then also radio platform. They watched them exactly. They watched them. You understand? So there's no secret anymore. Yes, we don't expect them to go there and for exhibit that kind of behavior will happen. It's very unfortunate. You understand? Although and this is and let me say this. I think without being biased into what happened. I followed the program na AYV at the beginning, and I'll say this because I know it is the truth. When the whole thing started, up to couple of the program will evolve, AKK refused for actually respond to Bumne. We have to say this. The reason why I get all these videos, but I don't want to play them anymore. We just want to remind them. We put in this program for no say. There's not a thread of things so that they do, within the diaspora, we don't know. If we are noticing the apple inside the government, what's about
why not that we own party, which is our own interest
exactly.
As well?
You don't
so we know well around like we say no more.
Exactly.
You know, they should not take us to be fools. They are there to represent individuals, fools. Not take party any longer.
Exactly.
I mean, when they charge them now, they have a responsibility for ensuring they bring the party to order. That is what they constitute to them. Therefore, bring the party to order.
There's a parable who talks say there's nothing hidden under the sun, especially in camp of politics, because you can't tell Igalo quietly. It's no longer a secret. Anything where you hold to yourself, you explain to a second person, it's no longer a secret. It's gone.
True.
Because maybe it's not even Igalo exposing this thing, but if there's something we record and a text message is sent, Churchwood, the people them were involved in that problem yesterday, some of them would die. Some of them had telephones, and those phones, assuming that they're not locked, somebody go sift that phone day. Always they now WhatsApp messages, them audio messages, anything you person send for them in the area. So it's not a secret. This is how informations are actually divulged. So I think that with responsibility, Comrade Igalo, we want them again, even in the diaspora now. So I kid you not.
So we need to charge them. Like how would they do so? It's our responsibility.
No, it's not charge. It's not, I don't want to call it charge.
We need to charge them.
Even within the diaspora now, so my brother, you get people away EBC. These are people, and I'm glad you're calling our chairman outgoing. This issue of you being a passive recipient of waiting they happen at the party, and with you a leadership in the diaspora position, not diaspora hemisphere, you be a chairman, then you say pass the status quo, sneeze, and you catch cold. Are you kidding me? At my age,
how the diaspora chairman in the branches and will function when
exactly.
there's a disaster?
If they're on a passive recipient, this
understand it. So we equally they charge them, let them know say they have a responsibility.
So at this time round,
because we are the financial guarantors, we are spending money in this party.
Yes, and in fact, beyond that,
so if things they go wrong, we they charge them equally to let them buck up. They need to buck up.
Forget about the money they would put in the APC, not to the money. We get something which is more than money, because they say you cannot use money to fight for chieftaincy that is reserved for the strong.
That's
Two things
true.
them. One, we get the expertise. We're not sleeping.
That's true. No, that's true.
We get sleepless nights for research on issues, then for aid with party and come up with sound strategies. That's now one side. And two, we also get a political capital, the voting bloc. I get organizations them. We're able for you.
Yeah, that's true. We are sponsoring people. That's why we are financial guarantors. We are sponsoring organizations in our villages, communities. We are reaching out to people.
And that's why we want them people here for take we as partners. You understand? But again, it's up to our leadership, the various leaders them, now the diaspora hemisphere, for they say how you pray you bid, now so it lead on day. Because at this time round, we expect them for all meetings. Maybe they're doing it. We don't know. We're not in their midst. But this is the time. If you guys have not done that, this is the time for Leona the whole meeting. Now come with sound suggestion them. Look at what's happened. Honorable AKK went there to call Richard Conte, to call Petitu, to call all these people. Okay, we did far, but there was no mentioning of the diaspora. So something that tells you we've not actually made ourselves available. We've not actually sold ourselves to the party. Say we get
well, like I mentioned, this is where maturity. This is exactly where maturity comes in. This is where maturity comes in. Me, for instance, they're not gonna give me responsibility for administer something where I get a timeline and mandate. Don't forget, time in itself is very much critical. It either can be used progressively or destructively. Above all, the time is always right to do what it can. If the court don't give una mandate, una no need for take that mandate again, go take it back to people. You understand?
Very quickly, I have a caller. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Yes, may I know who is calling, please?
Good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm Lawrence Fox. I call from United Kingdom. It's alone.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, basically, what I say is, if you look at all the interviews they were in the show, they're saying to the world that SLPP is responsible. So the people then get issues. Why do they blame APC when people then get issues? The issue are the economic difficulty not alone. The issue are the accountability we not there. The issue are the illegal sacking of a lot of people that tell us is sacked. Not a fact. So the issue are the statistics people then sacked. The issue are the imprisonment of people illegally. Kamayemba in a jail. Eligid in a jail. Unless they don't cook up. The issue are the salary not enough. One they talk rubbish so. During the campaign, they say the people are tired of paying for a bag of rice from 200,000. Now, how much would they buy a bag of rice? 550,000. How much are the basic salary? 600,000. Some people in the used for leave 50 million, 50 million normal, according to the new money they make. So how can people pay transportation? Fuel price don't go up from 6,000 loans now don't go to 19,000. When people are now 22,000. When people I don't see the reality of the situation, it's not 18,000. So why are people not sincere? So it's clear. They don't see the light. I'm not going to play shots because now all that they all bring up this madness. Now because you know, see, mother and government get for go. People have to be violent. Not so only get for be violent. It's the people. Us the people. We, the freedom fighters, and I get for be violent. The PP, because they don't say that it takes violence to promote and not call it terrorists. So now APC call it terrorists. Not so APC call it terrorists too. So now APC they call terrorists. They specify. Now we the people that they call terrorists. They don't put you in a computer. At that point, they will make. And we are the people that are calling for the strike, not the APC. We're not linked with APC. I'm not APC. I don't care on approval. I don't tell them planes. I'm not APC. I will sympathize with APC, but I'm not APC. The APC is this same rubbish back. It's not democratic. I'll come again to speak against. And then that's what we talk about too.
Thank
so
you so
not
much.
APC and this rubbish. But that you get situation for handle. There is a situation for handle. Left handle and maturely. They left APC away from this. And the one man said, Dr. Samuel Kamara, I'm putting it in your life. This is Lawrence Fox talking. El Salon, I really talk to. Whether or not the PPP. And all it, Samuel Kamara in case, or include APC for this rubbish, we're coming again. I don't call it terrorist right now. That's one more when I say we will be like a terrorist.
Okay, so just before you go,
these guys commissioners can act. You need to know these guys commissioners asking nothing. They didn't ask you anything. Can I look you say
thank you so much.
Terrorist. I don't know what they say terrorist.
Thanks,
terrorist.
thanks,
thank
you so much.
So I appreciate the trouble about this rubbish.
Thank you so much.
Freedom fighters for people. I don't vote for Mother Bill. I don't vote for him. I don't like Mother Bill. I don't vote for him. But if they do, I'm glad for Mother Bill in governance. But you know, they show me saying in the governance. Imagine after they don't kill people almost hours. Mother Bill, you know, address the nation. We're here at PPC, here at Twitter. Like at the Twitter world in the room. You know, even address with the people in Spilo. Still people are also, we're wounded, we're hungry.
So, and that is
we're ready for the fire, we're ready for the bullet.
Thank you so much,
yeah,
Kola.
You
thank you so
question,
much.
But they put some plenty. It's not APC. They're not linked with APC. The PPP will not link with APC. At the top, for example, Majesty King Adiba will say, as a military commander, we not pay APC. Almost all they tell them. We are serving people, and our people are suffering, our people are dying, our people are starving. You know, almost what do they sell in a saloon? They don't make the world know we are terrorists. I say they call you now. Okay, we're not so much terrorists. We're not APC. Is there any question for me, sir?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you want the way you don't do now. You don't identify yourself as PPP, and you don't make a disclaimer say you're not to APC, you're not to SLPP. One of the people who would try for me.
I am with Adebayo for like the patriotic union.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Listen. That make a clear back. Clear back for the world. And the share them for the world. The world understands we are PPP.
Points taken, sir.
Power in politics. And are we? We're a member. It's alone. We are members. We are fully fledged members. And I'm the chief of staff of Sierra Leone. Yeah. Adebayo are the king of this movement. Yeah. So people enforce. When they threaten them, we have to come out for say no. You have to end this suffering. That's terrorism in our country. You call people terrorists.
Thank you so much, Kola. I get to take another call.
Kill them anything you want to kill them.
Unfortunately, I get to take another call.
So
So this is what the caller is actually. You don't agree now. This would say God not sleep. At least we don't get somebody we call we identify himself as PPP. And it say, you know, the APC, you know, the SLPP, you know, the support.
The whole thing very clear. The situation, the economic situation of the country, I just want everything for us.
And Comrade Igalo, I try to transcribe the words of Solomon Jamiru, among other things. But this soundbite is, for me, it's very, very important. Listen carefully. And I want the viewers to follow and listen. It say, in my honest opinion, I not think say waiting happen. It happened because of failure of the security sector. Me think say a lot of waiting happen don't happen now because very critical space perhaps may have been mortgaged. Very critical space may have been mortgaged.
I respect Solomon Jamiru, even though
and then he go further,
political establishment.
And he go further, I jump, and he go further. Now it's a very key and critical space where na coalition of well-meaning voices and efforts for occupy them. A coalition. So here,
yeah, they don't understand the issues then.
Exactly.
Even
He knows the issues. He's a learned lawyer.
Even though he said a part of the failed political establishment,
yes, but again,
they don't aware say he was very genuine in this particular
but again,
I applaud him for that as a citizen and as a Sierra Leone.
But as again, comrade, this is where it actually shattered the rafts, the propaganda rafts of President Madabio, young president who appoints him. This guy, I believe this guy will be sacked. Now, this is he say, I believe, listen to this. He said, I believe that President Bio is fully alert of his responsibility. So, in other words, all what happens to President Bio is aware of it.
No, so, they're not aware. They don't say a game plan. It's a calculated point from the president for dividing the nation.
I think we can safely say, because he allowed this thing happen, Nipan at the board, which is trying to address the issues them where the border Sierra Leoneans them, that is by itself is a dereliction of duty. And he go for that for say, he say for the one them where they make propositions, say President Bio for act tougher, or the security sector for go out there and be tough on the people. I think that is the way. He say I don't think that is the way to go in addressing our issues in Sierra Leone. That's what he said. I think President Bio should listen to this man.
He go listen, but he go downplay him. Like you mentioned, almost say, if you not sack and now say, let someone Jamiru just not say.
No, he's gone. Solomon Jamiru is gone. I think, say for me, the only reason to make you not go for sack Solomon Jamiru, these are critical times. It go be very blatant because guess what? Now the same thing that he do to the sacked Minister of Mines, Radioyoki. Radioyoki was sacked.
Even the former Minister of Internal Affairs, Suluku.
Yeah. So the only reason
Suluku resigned. It was not even sacked. Exactly. He resigned because they not compromised that thing.
But I talk about Yoki in sack one because that is something I know. I had the intelligence. The intelligence was after the massacre in Makeni, we all know Radioyoki. You know, but Tunis. Where are the current speaker now, ECOWAS Parliament? And Radioyoki, some people even they call and say these are the blue eye boys of Aneskoma then. And because there's a company where they call First Tricon. First Tricon, where they get a fast contract them na the south part of the country. These guys actually Aneskoma, it try for actually do what they call this inclusive governance by bringing in everybody within the economic aspect of the country. People were not happy in the APC, but again, this kind of milestone, which is a very positive milestone, is actually being used today for actually assess the presidency of for say it was inclusive. I think we get a call. But what am I saying, comrade, is that this is the problem where President Bio don't find himself now, and this man is Sakam just because after they don't massacre Makeni, then go a cabinet meeting. And this is a confirmed source. Radioyoki suggests to them, say, what we need to do, the killing of Makeni has been compared to same activity will take place in Akono. They say that Akono, the approach we take, we go to treat them. We not use the bullets, we go for pacify the people, and that's how we got the generator. It's the same situation. But when we go Makeni now, we carry with the barrel of the gun, we kill people. It's not good for us. What we do is say some of we get good relation with people in Makeni, i.e. the regional chairman we did it, also the mayor and all of the Sunkari them. It's even Aneskoma. It's let us establish contact with them people so that we're able to quell the situation. Let peace day. That's thing where he talk. The current Minister of Information. Then the one that will be as foreign minister. Foreign minister. When Pope Francis, by then he was still the icon
chief minister.
Yes, and other I hate to say this, but this is the intelligence. These are the people who begin point finger to Radioyoki say it's an enemy within. That's how he was sacked. So again, we will not be surprised if Solomon come on in, sir.
Yeah, like we mentioned, like you mentioned, Solomon Jamiru, I believe say he said don't see the reality.
Yeah, hello, caller. Good evening. Yes, if you just move away from your set. Yes, move away from the set.
Good evening.
Yes, move away or just put the set down and then.
Yes. I don't put off now.
Okay, may I know who is calling and who side you call from, please?
Matthew, I'm calling from Birmingham.
Birmingham. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah, what do you have for us for tonight?
What you have to say is, I want to follow my get and say because I hear the other comrade where they analyze the thing so very well about the 21 man and talking about the young boys, which all what he said was really, really true. But I want to make himself realize, because he's just a young man, they realize when because he put a very thing say because he said the defect for a flag bearer. But the other part of it is Peter Conte don't show you very, very clear when the other one in there, according to what he said, show it. But again, there is a rules to follow. And the rules to follow, as far as we're concerned, these other people now, they try to follow the rules them. But Peter Conte, because he wants to fulfill what in Godfathers they don't pay him for do, he try for bulldoze and APC to the party you go bulldoze and take. No. So I want to let realize that again, because there is a law. Whatever you get, we are all human, we are all political animals. Whatever, I don't say they already they get somebody who will support. But they for put the party first and do according to the rules. But as long as always we don't hear, because we only follow TV, whether you go to TV or everything and talk, it's like they are following the rules. Then they do it the rules officials say, but Peter Conte and they bulldoze. And if we now not even tell Peter Conte the truth now say, stop this thing. I want to say yes. If no one they get an easy agenda where I know we dispute because we are human beings, but as far as we concerned for now, they are doing the right thing. And Peter Conte is not doing the right thing. And we don't even know say even Peter Conte in group, 3 people in group, we're not there with them. Where they believe so what Peter Conte do is too much. Let them do what if one bulldozer believes say he knows the law, he knows everything, in they bulldoze, in they use Peter Conte for let them bulldoze. So it's like this thing we have to call things by their name and make ladies thing. And the other part again, rather this SLPP, of course, I know say people are not quiet because then it take us say we are mature enough. But I'm telling you, when a ruling government is against you, because we also remember when SLPP is in problem, and if you tell them, let them pull, not be put on the axle, let them pull this, them cut, let them, they will tell them, go sort them out. But man, if against this thing, and they really, really against, we can see what they do for Peter Conte. And now we can see, now he can give Peter Conte a much car.
Okay, I just want, okay, caller, I just want for because now we get a very matured conversation with one quotation where Shakespeare say all is fear in love and war. Because we were here blaming Madabio. We know saying that they set up this thing, and we don't actually talk on that issue extensively in this program here. And even the issue where Igalo they talk about, say, the young people, we also talk about, we know the role where Alfred Peter Conte say, what they do right now. In fact, everything where it is stand for, where it take the party go court, it they do contrary right now. You understand? If they try for lambast the status quo, say, then they will power without recourse to the 1995 constitution, but it's doing on the contrary. We know all of these things, you understand? So, but waiting will they try for say, because I say understanding the problem is part of the solution. You agree with me also? We understand the problem is part of the solution. Because we know say Madabio and they into this. Now the court decision would them put, then do them in a way for let them actually montowi, low able for do nothing. So again, They say if it's not broken, don't fix it. What I mean by this, before 2007 election, we are in similar situation. And some people even say it's worse than waiting to happen today. But we managed to sail through. Why would not use the same approach now? We're talking about expediency. Now we get people who they sit down, tap themselves at the back. That's when one committee for say, I know what you want. Myself know what I want. Let's sit down and dialogue. The people are looking forward to us. Because if them people they have failed, I kid you not. Anybody within our 21-man committee, if they sit down say they fail we, then your political career, they on the firing line. Because we can never trust them.
Not just their political career, say it, not just their career, their life.
You see, if they fail we, look what's in the
Because the people of Barcelona they are desperate right now. We are all desperate. Even with the diaspora, we are desperate.
Now that's when they talk. So in this kind of current thing, for let them begin call people and ask, let them come in. Although now just AKK Udoyeri, but it's a man where they walk now the waiting call and he's making these appearances. Now people they talk say, let people then sit down and get better clear heads and say, you know what, we may not agree in everything, but because of the expediency, things the way end right now. People and they go through this suffering of the country. Let us do this for the party and country and ensure that we reach to a conclusion. It might not go your way 100%. It might not come your way 100%, but the party. And look what happened. And I'm sorry for saying this, Comrade Igalo. I beget somebody where I try to do something for my mama in place not too long ago. It's one of the people where they walk at the house. You know, they're part of the protest. But you know, like when I can say, and people in the protest in Africa, they knew a lot of bystanders them. Then sit down. This boy was killed yesterday. It's not part of the protest. But because then us then at the main streets. You know, like when play the parks and they see people in the parks. Yes. It's one of the people they work for me at my place. You know what I mean? He died. The reason me could bring the instances there. And my own friend, Momo Conce, I remember this the man where I don't talk to. He left Kabbalah, he said he passed to an Escoman and they go eat breakfast. I talked to him less than an hour. I got a phone call from a friend, a lawyer friend, that tell me, say, Momo Conte is no more. It's sent for me. Imagine this person tell me, say, that's why next I go in. All of these things don't happen. We get Cabana, so when I very well call. We get a lot of comrades also. Abes, watching this guy, the man we fired up, thereby in bedside, God they taking life. St. Thomas's Hospital. This is a man where he fired up for 2023. People need to think about this thing. You're planning, but God is the master planner.
But, sir, my question is,
yes,
where I will ask you and the other comrades,
yeah,
when I sound so intelligent,
yeah,
waiting on a suggestion with them for do now.
Okay.
Because according to everybody, they say that they follow the law.
Yeah.
Peter Conte and they broke the law. So let them broke the law for Peter Conte and take.
No.
Because they broke the law, Peter go on. Fisher go on responsible.
No.
Take
not so that
now. So please, una self help when
okay.
idea,
Let
especially
me just come in. Let's just come in.
Okay, Igalo coming.
Yeah, the issue here is the other side, the other comrades and winner from Parliament and then from the Youth League and the Women's Congress, they already are aware and they know the agenda of the court and Peter Court in agenda. Knowing very well, and we all know, say, not to secret, say, the judgment then pass and the court get interest in an individual.
That cut off me for lack of
exactly.
It's very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes,
the honorable members that weighed in at the committee, including the representative from the Youth League and the Women's Congress, they already know the interest of the court and they know the interest of Peter Conte. And the court's interest, law no hide, law no fake. The court get interest because they insist on the issue of resolving membership. You understand? Then I for tell you say the court get interest in certain members the way they don't drive or they don't expel from the party. And in not too distance here, Peter Conte don't express and very clearly in the letter say then the committee, even though not to the majority, don't reinstate Chief Sansumana. Then I for tell you that is the interest of the court and that is the interest of Peter Conte and Imande. So we don't know that very clear. And the committee, inside the committee, the one they were at the majority, they are aware say the court, that particular committee was constituted for let them fail. and they get a responsibility for letting not fail, for letting we will take we to that transition. Because the moment we get to the transition point, we don't get to lower levels, we don't go to constituency, district, state region, diaspora. Peter content you don't finish. Whosoever be done the fight for behind the scene is finished. The person for can fight the real fight for himself and can at the battlefield. Now, it make me when Sidonaya, I believe say the committee and the members of parliament, including the other within the majority, they get a responsibility for manage the situation. The good, the bad, the ugly. Therefore, able to sit down, they know say we for disagree and agree. This is the interest of the court. But in the interest of
I'm going to pose a question to you now.
Yes,
the devil's advocate. For now, get clarity from the question where the caller waiting and call. So, assuming that the 12 man and they don't do everything that is humanly possible for tell Alfred Peter Conte say keep to the rules, and you just signal something say Alfred Peter Conte the things they get his fear say the moments when we go to a national delegates conference it's no more. So and then you don't say something very important say Mother Bill and by extension the court had a hand in this. So don't you think no matter what in the 12 man and do, because that is the vested interest of Alfred Peter Conte, he get a tendency for hold on to that, then he act disruptive because he no say, and this is what I keep telling people, say, we can't even trust the court, Comrade Igalo, at this present moment.
No more. We don't need to trust the court. Neither Alfred Peter Conte, we don't need to trust anyone.
Because we don't even know what is the game plan. If let's say people and say, if you see the water, they make noise. There are rocks them under the waterfall. Any sound inside go waterfall, they make noise. Rocks them they under. So assuming that Peter Conte don't take this thing with Mother Bio, this is their grand plan. We are saying these things outside for let people in back here so that the 21-man committee and the status, the stakeholder will they listen to it, and for let Mother Bio know say we know in plan. So my question is this: isn't it the fact that the 12-man committee they answer them tie because they can't go? The fear is if they go compromise with Alfred Peter Conte for anything, then they will be the court order, and that will be a contempt. Don't you think that?
No. The issue is the point here is what we need to understand that the court mentioned about unresolved membership, and the unresolved membership has to do with going through the delegate conference. You understand?
Yeah.
I believe that Alfred Peter Conte, it don't come clearly, it don't establish a young point say the foreign state chiefs and suman and that the court say according to your interpretation of the court's ruling.
Yeah.
This is a problem. I believe say now the problem we make the committee don't stall. Because I aware and I listen to the interview both AKK and Honorable Abdukago about whether we get these parliament sittings and regarding the crucial issues that they discuss. Where and Boomne even make a clear say they send the minutes for the meeting where they forget. They even go to parliament, but they be say they be get committee meeting. And one thing we're very much clear, except if somebody don't understand the parliamentary setup. Now you go take Uncline and Sinclair, like what the Honorable AKK talk about, say after parliament, after the well of parliament, after the meeting where they be get well of the city where they be get committee meeting. But committee meeting, not to every parliamentarian they did a committee meeting, no. Lord get this clear. Not to everybody. They get different committees with different honorables that within those committees. So I want to now say all 8 of the honorables that within the committee, they're all a part of that committee where they for be looking to certain laws there.
Did they say them within a committee meeting or the
after the meeting based on the interview, yes, at AYV.
I think they say
no, that's not very clear. Based on the meetings that would begin at AYV, and Boomne said they be did it na parliament. They be issued the letter and issue the minutes. They issue the agenda of the meeting where they forget. After that, they say they get parliament sitting according to Honorable Ikike. After that, they even make mention say when they tell Peter Conte say they get forget committee sitting, Peter Conte say he don't understand what and they. So in the wonder the man institutional knowledge about the country or even the party. But in that particular, when I talk about committee meetings, not to every parliamentarian, it's not like when the well get sitting, where every parliamentarian for they get individuals in that parliament where they are different committees. So the question only for ask now, 8 of them all be there at the committee.
I think Igalo, my understanding, I don't think AKK was talking about a committee meeting, which is like you get a constellation of different committees. It talks about a committee stage. Committee stage when
the committee, listen, even the committee stage, not to all when I talk about committee stage, not to the well of parliament, then get like for instance different oversight committees then.
No, Igalo. Let me respectfully, at least let me get some correct. When
explain about what you understand, but then the way they talk about
when you say parliament, okay. After we don't get a third reading, after we don't get a third reading or second reading, a third reading, then the bill they go in a committee stage. So that means all what's in parliament don't discuss. This is the most crucial stage of a bill where they want for pass. This is the pull, amendments, change, this, that. So in other words, all that discussion will don't take place in the parliament and the rancor, the argument, it means so much, but it means less if you're not in the committee stage for ensure that which you don't argue, it reflects na the bill. You allow and say it become an act, then pronounce them, it become an act, then game done. So I think that's AKKB the talk say it's the most crucial aspect of a bill. When you a committee stage, not the happen behind the scene. Now the well self then they sit down. Now the well big then they sit down. Not so they can have backroom meeting. When I say committee stage, it's happening right in the well. The speaker they all man they the clerk of parliament, everybody. So this is the sign when they begin look say yes, we don't agree this. We'll be say remember that when they talk about the 2022 public election, we don't turn to act now. When they say for pull the nin, they're not ready for kick the nin already. But the committee stage, that is where you ensure that what has been kicked out in ODD, the deciding for change adjective and what you call that is a very crucial part. It's the repackaging.
Okay, understandable. Understandable. That is the point. Understandable. That is the point. So the point here is if they don't go.
I think because the time they go, what we need to do now, the question is, waiting a we own suggestion, what is the way forward?
With suggestion, very simple.
Okay.
The 21-man committee gets a mandate. The mandate here is now for ensure they disagree now and agree. The point here is about to save the party. Let them go back to the drawing board. They don't need for call party A, party Y, party Z. Let them go and sit now as a committee. Go by the rules at the same time. Let them understand say expedient very important. There is time in all of this now. They need for go sit down, let them disagree and agree. Let them forget about personal agendas. Let them forget about people's agenda. Whatever decision that has been taken by the court's ruling, let them go strictly by them. We don't need anybody for be deceptive in this one. Peter Conte, we dey talk to you as a comrade. We all know say interest and the flow into this thing, but we are with the appeal to you equally that you need for revisit all your press releases them. We therefore do it a decision we not unanimous. We need for cancel all those things. We go to the drawing board. Like how we sit down no more, we appoint ourselves into different positions. Where we vote for each other, we go on oppose. Now so we want to go sit down for disagree and agree, but we come up with a resolution. This issue of letter writing back and forth, we don't want to say anymore. This issue of sitting down the radio station, when they sit down, they go and lambast each other. That is not the purpose of the committee. When I go sit down, when I iron out on our differences, do you are pleased with the appeal? APC is bigger than any political individual. APC big past everybody's in the individual interest. The interest of the party and the interest of the nation are on for sick now. The nation dilated in need of an alternative government come 2023. I would appeal to una say APC now the only political party we get an alternative for pull SLP in a power. But una no go hold it to ransom, please. Una no make let the grassroots rise against una. It go be another catastrophe in the country. Alone una not be the center of these things of the party in uprising. For letting we will get at una, please, with the appeal to una. X, Y, Z. Una don't do wrong to each other. Una go by the ruling and una ensure that una protect the interests of the party, not the interests of individual. That is all what we can say. We can't say more than this. And for us in the diaspora, we will get connection to those individuals. We will get connection to the 21-man committee. People, they will talk to them. Let's talk to them individually. Then tell them, say, let them forget about the interests of whosoever behind the scene. Let them focus on the interests of the party. The court set the stage for let them get division. And then not for allow that to happen, because they are all comrades. At the end of the day, there is victory for all of us. We are struggling today, but at the same time, we want the interests of the party for the same.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Igalo. Eloquently put. You know, you've actually given energy, life, dynamism to this program tonight. And we are going up to 3 hours. This is a marathon program tonight. It's the longest we've ever done. And I think part of the reason, because we deal with two components, them topics, the way we don't actually talk on these issues separately. One, the issue of President Madabio as to regards to in role we played with what happened yesterday and to today. So I want to say thank you, Comrade Igalo. Thanks for coming. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Igalo here will be a host very soon. As on area now, when I will not say anything we get for coming as a host, it will be for do justice. So I want to say thank you right now. Internet connection, not good. So I just try for can wrap up now the program. And let me go again and then just summarize within this program day about tonight. The first topic we don't deal with tonight has to do with the leadership of His Excellency President Julius Madabio. We wanted to know if President Madabio, the question being posed out there was, is President Madabio a leader who gets compassion? I guess Oriat, let's talk about Creole. Why would we say this question irrelevant? Because we believe, say, in a book called Why Nations Fail, and put semantics aside, in a book called Why Nations Fail, one of the things that is being said is that the developments or progress of a country is center to the leader. And even the theories of post-colonial Africa or something like that, one of the things we didn't talk, say the reason we make with developments is kind of stagnated and say the leader becomes a unit of analysis. And this is very true. These are the theories of post-colonial states. They say the leader becomes a unit of analysis. And this is why we are actually focusing on the leadership of His Excellency President Julius Madabio tonight. If we not get a leader, we get compassion, a leader, we get integrity, then that country, then at the right path for let you forget optimal development. It's very, very important. And I think we get somebody with a call quickly, and they bring in this call, then we close the program. And this is Adama Mambo. Come on in, comrade, you're live.
Yes, sir. Comrade ABS, thank you very much for such a wonderful program tonight.
Thank you too.
Indeed, a marathon one.
It is.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. You're live.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Yeah, go on.
Thank you so much. You don't really, done a very good job tonight with all the topics then. But in the first place, let's just talk about this president who enable for life and people them. It's so disgraceful for me to get a whole president in an international medium. It thinks now because the interview, that means no way to the go on Sierra Leone. Where it be say, then they're gonna different other international media them. Now make the woman rightly bring back in mind to what a minister of youth say about us. Say the minister said don't miss in action. In the tell we say in go seek medical because of the field. But here in Sierra Leone, you get the information minister where they tell we say the man go on a private visit. Other people and they tell we say he go leave, he go holiday. In they go like blatantly. Then they even like say during the COVID, a cushion, the hard times, the difficulties for everybody in the country, giving food, and then they got go pay for we. Not just end by end. Then with regards the Peter Conte thing, Me, at the sailor always just say the brutal truth. The brutal truth now is it's a context is the whole problem of that particular 21-man committee. Honestly, because if you say you na APC person, you na APC picking, then they discuss a very important bill na parliament. Their honorable member there then get for present day so that they go able for system waiting and don't fed for through the past days them it come to you use the one day for bypass and just go take 8 people decide for select and selection when you don't go na court for you don't fit big people in for then you want kind of for impose that one day then that one day don't still see the incense website where you know it's very disrespectful. Not even to just the 21-man committee. So we say something like the members of that political party. It's disrespectful for me. You within 24 hours, they tell the people and say that for don't send in list of names of their own, candidates them. Without which they go, how you go get an ultimatum?
And that's why
committee, why not just chair no more? How you go do that? So to me, comrade,
yes.
It's a content of the whole problem. And I they hold me back.
Okay.
Now not talk about the 8 parliamentarians and the other 4. Yeah, we make up the 12. But the whole problem is within that 9 people. And within that 9 people, they not so they all that 9 people, but it gets them. I mean they pinpoint and I will always talk anywhere a day. If you listen to them, now the program AYV with AKK, you will clearly see say they're not ready for peace. These people are not ready for peace until we clean up and then people and show them say no to their own this party, then no go left for Kerry party go beyond equating and they do so. But if they just talk things, they know they talk the issue, they attack the guy personally. And if forgetting a guy way before, where's the guy one for Freetown, it is Freetown publicly openly in that place. But the guy is so respectful that even they tell us say, you not reverend, you for my duty. Hey, who reverend? You they say you na reverend. You they preach Bible to people. Them. Honestly, if I know the church where they go, I will get for go visit her one day and just come on and say I get a testimony for me. Then I go get for talk about.
Thank you so much, Comrade. Thank you so
all
much.
Of them things are so not just they come out with the brutal truth. This 21-man committee, whether Fisher we don't do Fisher make so. They say the whole thing about it where Fisher don't put is say how they call them majority, simple majority, right? If you not trust in yourself, you not believe in yourself, why not they go? Well, I don't start everything fine as our AKK say. Why now una can impose some Sumana Paris?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Nobody not impose nobody to me because now they don't go to court say they no want selection, they no want consultation.
Thank you so much.
So when they go by waiting the 2022 constitution don't say and waiting the court order say now we they go by.
Thank you so much.
Everything they do for be by election.
Thank you so much.
Until we go delegate conference, then we go resolve the membership of any so-called person we say that we don't expel them.
Thank you so much.
We want to see a resignation letter of Samsumana from C4C. That this we want to see because we don't see in a previous by-election where we get a comrade. We see a whole person they fed for Kambia president, a flag bearer and an APC. If they go support independent candidates, can you imagine? If they go support independent candidates as against any political party candidates who they put for reasons their best known to so which confidence we get in Samsumana? Samsumana, now just one kind of person will come where because you know get road na SLPP.
Thank you so much.
APC will come and shortcut can be
Thank you so much,
president. So Samsumana was just fortunate
we have to conclude the program.
Running mate in 2007.
We have to conclude the program.
No longer this term again. It not go be again. There's no go election. And election we they go. Then we go delegate conference. If the delegates and decide for making the member, that is good. But as far as we concerned, nobody not ever say not for be member. But let go behind. You know they can't begin to tin up for flag bearership now. And there is no way when me believe say as delegate, if me that delegate, I will vote for any other person other than Samua Kamara because you don't go through a lot.
Thank you so
the
much.
man don't go through a lot. All these 4 years, the man don't sell himself.
I'm gonna let you go now because I want to squeeze one person
with all the
insults
and all the
Yes, that was Adam Amambu. I get a quick phone call from somebody, and then this is the last one. Then at the Giddy person, yes, yes,
hello, please.
Yes. Come on in, comrade. You're live.
Are they live now?
Yes. And if you just introduce yourself quickly, please.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Oh, okay. Good evening. I call from Makeni City,
okay,
right here in Sierra Leone.
Okay, thank you for calling. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Actually, this is Comrade Alimami A. Kamara, one-time National Youth President.
That is the man himself. And
honorable from Makeni.
Should I also give you another nomenclature? The ambassador himself. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
exactly so.
You're welcome, senior comrade. You're welcome, senior comrade. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I follow this line, of course. As here now one of the we forwarded today. I decided to follow that discussion. I don't follow them. I think it's a great discussion. That see the effort we they try for do for educate to APC people. But let me start by saying on the aspect of what happened there today. I believe say like we APC people some don't do. We stand in solidarity and with the same condolences to all the families that we lost their loved ones, them security and civilians, them alike. It's unfortunate. And also I want for state say the APC, we not to a violent party. We don't believe in violence. I stand, we know what violence in politics don't do to we as a party since the advent of the APC. My moral stand for say that now the fact that the APC don't suffer 2 political coup d'etats in this country, whilst we are not on record against any political party involving in a coup. So we don't believe in violence, and therefore we strongly believe that all the people who they associate what happened to APC will dissociate themselves from it. And we believe say that is not the act of APC. But that being said, I also believe say this country is democratic, and as I speak, there is a democratic government in place. If that is the case, we dissociate ourselves from the allegations, and we believe say like other civil society, they don't call area the mount an investigation. Anybody who them found culpable, we no one know whether na SFPP, APC or the like, but this country must exist as a democratic country. So we say the law for taking cause, but we don't believe nobody should associate with to APC. That is what I have to say as a stakeholder of the APC comrade. And I want to implore all APC people all over the world for who believe say we not a violent party, and we vehemently they defend the position that we have no anti-this for individuals and group of individuals who involve, as long as it threatens the state. We believe say let the law take its course if the investigation is mounted. That is one aspect of my contribution.
Thank you ever so much.
My other concern is the issue of the 20.
Yeah, go on. We're listening. Go on, sir.
Yeah, my other concern is the issue of the 21-man committee. I follow what is going to say. I follow Igalo, comrade Igalo, what they try for say. But I want to appeal again to the entire APC community, the world all over, that it is time for certain people to take the APC party serious and for understand the movement like this. It is the APC that raised, not the interest of an individual or a group of individuals. I follow closely what you say, sir, comrade, ABS Kambo.
Yeah.
Most of the people away there are young men, but the unfortunate thing will get it,
the fact that we get young people in the APC we prefer for follow groupings as against the interest of the party, which itself is threatening. Me, when they talk so with humility, I want to remind most of the APC young people that in the modern day APC politics, me are one of the pioneers that will fight the cause of the young people with a team of other young people we through the astute leadership of President Kuma, we are given a space. I would imagine a moment like this, any true APCR, where they give the opportunity, we don't agitate, they give it space in governance, we can. That 21-man committee, it is time to fight for the interest of the APC. And if that is true, politics is a matter of expedience. This is not time for go fight for individual or for individual interest. Massively, follow-up is unfortunate. When I look at the way Alfred Peter Conte come to the helm of leadership, I hold the view say he brave it off, know little or not much about Alfred Peter Conte in the politics of APC, but because he was brave to lead a rebellion of people and go to court, he got himself to that point. That is accepted. I also note the Honorable Abdul Kagbo, my own younger brother, is doing well in terms of articulating issues in Parliament on and on behalf of the APC. But I hold the firm belief he is relatively too new in the APC for understand the issues of the APC and for let be strategically placed in that place by a more informed young person who are the leader of the APC caucus in Parliament, my colleague and friend, Honorable Chairman Ramadan. But if that is the case, I call on them, time nodding our side. We can no longer tolerate politics of patronage. Our interest is the APC. It is not that we are weak. It is not that we not make it. It is just because of loyalty. And it lets me not feel say we know they around. We follow and we know everything where they go on. We know the different people and we know their interest. That is why I salute you when you remind us that AKK was on radio, a fine young man who is doing so well. I remember at one point he even made mention of people like us that he wants to make his representation in Parliament taking cue from people like us. And that's what APC represented. For now, after they don't give it that golden opportunity, the mandate for help we get a good transition in the APC. For now, call on people away like you rightly stated. These are players. Had we talk about calling people who want to be leaders, flag bearers, who in most cases, it is clear to all of us, now then they behind regulating these things. We are calling them for understanding. We are here today. Some of us, they go through crucibles by this government. Our families then scattered, people and don't die, a lot of challenges and days. So this is a very serious matter. We feature and everything. Some of us have been in court. We don't comport ourselves. We face the laws of this country. We brave it with all our representation and let them be aware that not that we are weak. And we ask them for do what is right and what is in the interest of the APC. Otherwise, let Alfred Peter Conte not say we are all in the APC, we are born APC, we know APC, we may not take it lightly as patients don't go, we don't run out. That is key, that is the message we want to bring in. If you are in power, you're fortunate for the in power, you for free God and man, and for no say the one they represent, now the interest they represent. Now we have less than 1 year. With all what is happening, not to be carried, would they look at would they look forward to? What we're looking forward to is progress, expedient political decisions for take the name for come together. For some of us who witness APC in opposition and we work under APC in governance, and we still gay, we as I talk so with humility. I want to remind the entire APC family all over. I'm one of the few young people we brave it and face this government, which to a greater extent will know how tyrannic they be. We face them from the one for defend the interest of the APC to a point they intimidate us, they do all sorts of things. We are in this country watching closely, so we can't afford what is happening for their people and go, then feel it and continue for put with interest and the interest of this party, and by extension, the interest of the progress of the people of this country. That is one key message I want to send for make them all understand before other people begin look at APC into another stuff. It is a shame and it is a huge challenge for law for descent to a level. Now a court manned by SLPP government. These have been our opponents for many years, we all know. We condescend to a level, people decide not to follow the truth. Some of us spoke, we went to meetings, we come up with the facts, nobody listened. We went to a point, we had a court manned by SLPP. We like una cleverly do the thing, then go set them kind of arrangement and they so that we go in disagreement. What we expect from those 21-man committee members now for take decisions for proof to SLPP say even if they don't set the committee for make them dey disarray, make them make palaver. But APC is above that. In moments like this, they should put aside those things and prove to SLPP and to the whole world say we are a forward-looking party. This was what we witnessed where late lawyer Terry and other Paediture and others when there was a problem before 2007 with President Dr. Anesbe Kuruma, where they do, it comes to a point, court, no court, they got to a point, they say APC is bigger than everything. They came together here in Makeni, they sealed it, we all work together, people work so hard, we come to power. The palpable development who President Kuruma and government left, it is very clear on that basis in the IG. So we can't afford. Let these guys be reminded that our patience is running out and one day we will support them. Otherwise, very shortly, I want to assure it's not a threat. We are frustrated. I want to assure the entire APC family world over that very soon we are not going to take it like
and honorable
contractors of the APC.
Honorable,
thank you.
My honorable, before you go, Ambassador, I think you mentioned key thing, and we are glad the way we get somebody like you on the platform tonight for can talk to we about what in the happen specifically on the APC. Because what do they keep for tell people, and
yes,
you are very careful in your words. You talk about expediency. And it takes somebody of an immense institutional knowledge, we're able to use that kind of language. We're telling people, say, there comes a time when somebody fall down, one, it gush blood, then two, it gets a breathing problem. Then we say, the expedient thing for do now for like keep the patient in breathing first.
Yes.
So if that is correct, because if you see the person stop for breathe, whether blood they come out, it don't matter anymore. When you don't do a CPR on the patients, then the patient is just say in airwave and then you see it breathe, then you begin for mend the wound now for let continue for bleed. So this is the experience we talk about. Yes, the rules are there. Yes. We already know the setup of the 21-man committee, my honorable. And one thing where you talk now tonight, we're fired up. We want them know this. And again, it's not a threat, you said it. If we in the APC, we sit down, we see protesters then go against a government, the people of the APC, 21-man committee, and anybody involved behind the scene, don't push us any further. It's a good message. If we push us further, then obviously we'll come after you. Thank you so much, and God bless you for Canada's platform. I think say very soon I go bring you Canada.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ambassador. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Because you know what, a lot of people and they misunderstand the message we communicate now. So, and all what we are doing because it's already there in the public domain. They've watched the APC leanings outside. So we need to tell them what we know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we need to remind them, say the word expedient is necessary. Then they all come together. Let them disagree for agree, but we need our party up and running.
Exactly. So Igalo, I think we have to call it a night from here.
Yeah. Let me just round up by saying we want to thank the viewers and those who participated in this program this year. Your weekly program that will always come to you every Thursday. Maybe we can act as any time based on the situation on the ground. It's a monologue program, but we open up so that people will make contributions and vie in and making sensible contributions when once the program is on. We'll come time to time. Don't forget, we are here to remind our brothers and sisters in that committee that we need peace and let them sit and iron out their differences. Forget about the interests of people outside the committee. Let them seek the interests of the party. The party is very important. We daily need them. And there is time for every purpose. Time in itself is very neutral. It either can be used progressively or destructively. Above all, the time is always ripe to do what is right. We want what is right to be done to bring our party to normalcy. We want our convention We want to get our leaders in our respective levels, from lower level election, constituency, district, regional, up to diaspora level. We are direly in need of all those things put together. Forget about who we are supporting behind the scene. Let's support the interests of the party. The country is at crossroads. It's only the APC that will come to harmonize the challenges the country is going through. We can only do that with peace, love, and unity, not hate. Thank you very much, Comrade ABS, for the opportunity, and our technical comrades behind the scene, Comrade Delwin, Comrade MAB, you name them. You are all doing fantastic, good job for us. And this platform will continue to grow as we fastly approach elections. We are going to ensure we have more viewers, more contributors, and people who always value Sierra Leone and value the All People's Congress. Thank you very much. Long live the APC. God bless Mama Salone.
So let me say thank you, Comrade Igalo, because you know what you've done tonight? You fantastically destroyed the closing of ABS. Fantastically destroyed. I'll put it that way.
You can make an addendum. You can make an addendum.
I can't.
No, you can make an addendum. You can make an addendum.
I don't want to spoil your closing, because what you've done, it's unbelievable, And ladies and gentlemen, so,
I am learning behind the scene. I'm learning behind. I'm following your good stuff.
Basically, you're not learning from a Dominion perspective, you are actually flying really. So he is going to be one of our hosts here on this platform, Mr. Mohammed, or Comrade Mohammed Kamara, aka Igalo. It's a young guy, basically, and young by the standard of the APC constitution, say anybody will be below 35. So it's below that age. Unbelievable. So the point to retire for here is the diaspora is actually for the APC. It's a reservoir of knowledge. It's a reservoir of, imagine, kind of politicians are somebody where they below 35, it articulates the way they articulate. I'm really proud of you, and I want to say thank you, everybody. Tonight's program has really been a marathon, but it's on purpose. I think the country deserves this. We all deserve this, because we deserve this, because we really need for actually delve into issues the way they happen at the country. And we can always tell the people and say the APC UKI online TV platform, when it comes to issues where for talk about national importance, it's we are not actually say impeded by party allegiance. Yes, we are not coming here to put our party down. The only reason why some of these issues we are bringing them out, because they're already in the public domain, and to some of us, they actually came as a surprise to some of us that those in the 21-man committee could actually go out there and exhibit that kind of behavior. But we'll forgive them. Their comrades. It's really desperate times. But as the former ambassador, a senior comrade Almami, who was also a president of the APC National Youth League, he actually opened that we're actually watching everybody, and these are desperate times. We've given the 21-man committee a leeway, and they should understand that the judgment itself, nobody, you don't actually need, you don't have to be what's it called, a PhD or whatever sort of like high level of education to understand that the judgment of Justice Fisher is actually a manifestation of animosity, deep-seated animosity in the APC party. So us knowing the dynamics of politics in Sierra Leone, we have to think beyond this. We should be able to think beyond this. They set for you trap, if even for jump, if you know, say you have somebody we actually grounded. That's what we are saying, and that's why we carefully choose the word tonight, expediency. What is expedience for now is the unity, the harmony of the APC party. All of these people where they push for leadership, all of these people where they push for flag bearer, they're doing so in their own interest. But beyond that interest, there's a bigger interest, which is the interest of the APC. Because nobody where we necessarily talk now, so we all are players them. We get a time where we take at the wall with the exit. But going back to the first topic where they talk this now, which is the issue of President Julius Maada Bio. We have nothing against you, Mr. President, and your governments. Bear in mind that the APC, or the opposition, the main opposition, are part of governance. You know, opposition is part of the democratic setup of a thriving democracy in our countries. You know, so we're not here to fuel hate as other people can assume. I think there's been a lot of emotions where sort of like they happen amongst we comrades in the diaspora mainly, because these are people who we interface with every day, and some people back home for letting know say we want President Julius Maada Bio to succeed, because at the end of the day, beyond President Maada Bio, there's going to be another president, and beyond that president, another president. So society is evolving. But what is important, our development has to be systemic. Therefore, if we're not able to actually add anything, let us don't subtract. That should be the target of everybody. And in order for us to do so, you get for, as Solomon Jamiru do say, and I can come to that quote very clearly. It's very, very clear that that lawyer, he talk about something where if he say, we for do as a country. And that is very, very important. I think say that's where we're missing the whole thing, and ensure that we do the right thing. What does he say? What's in Solomon Jamiru talk? Basically, he say, and this is what we said. What he said? He said, I think say a lot of what happened don't happen because the very critical space perhaps maybe may have been mortgaged. A very key and critical space where a coalition of well-meaning voices and efforts for occupy them. A coalition of well-meaning voices and efforts. Coalition. Yes, President Julius Maada Bio, you won. Whatever reservation we get about your winning, you are the president. You've been sworn to office over 4 years back. You've been there. Nobody's challenging that. Now you take stewardship of the country, just like your predecessor, His Excellency, former President Ernest Bai Koroma. Nobody is challenging that. But for being a country, you need a coalition of voices and efforts. This is what your Deputy Attorney General or Deputy Minister of Justice say. Isn't it simple to understand? You cannot build a country on propaganda. You have to be very compassionate. Your administration is responsible for the killing of people in Makeni. You never showed any compassion, Mr. President. A lot of people have died, and for me, I'm even angry to understand that you have the latitude to go on an international media without addressing your country first. I understand you just return back to Sierra Leone, but you could have used the time you actually got to Sierra Leone to put a nice address of social cohesion, about condemning lawlessness and all those kind of things. Address your people first. But what we see basically, and this is something that is very, very telling about this administration, all they care about is about the rating within the international community. See, you see, don't have a program for talk about the development of Sierra Leone with any pauper operative. They tell you, say, IMF say this, World Bank say this. That's all they tell you. They know they tell you, say, the people of Kailande say this, the people of Bontle say this. They say IMF. No disrespect to these institutions. But isn't it true that the institutions there are so now state de facto sovereign institutions? What mean then come and create a state within states? Now, because of people like Euna make who don't come out through the IMF. I'm not saying the problem is actually you, but don't not play we own country in a snake and ladder scenario. The snake come, he bets, he don't care, we go back. That is what we're saying. We now London here will all be there. We know your wife. I know where I used to work, Mr. President. I know the office where they work. Every 2 weeks, I see UFD and I see also the London Jets. But before una day, I know we know the condition. But again, when I get everybody gets entitled for the opportunity. When me too now, I salute you. God give you the opportunity. You became our president. Everybody entitled to that. This is not about jealousy. We want you to be there. The people of Sierra Leone want you to be there. Yes. You're entitled for become the president because you're a Sierra Leonean. Yes. But then after you don't become president, think about the suffering masses of Sierra Leone. Don't play on the psyche of people. The peddle lies around. You go na BBC, you need to say na the opposition. The international community are aware. I followed that diplomatic briefing today. I heard what's clearly the comments of some of those diplomats. Then when they go talk about terrorism, how do you rebrand the name of Sierra Leone or the image of Sierra Leone? By you, it's almost like what you did and what you're continue doing and with the operatives is to tell a potential fish buyers. You go to the market with a basket full of fish, say, hey, people, come here, I'm selling fish, but me fish they rotten, you get tumbu. Who's going to come close to you? Nobody no want to buy fish we rotten. That's what you're doing. You're telling the world that everybody in Sierra Leone we're not the APC, just like we have say, now only would the SLPP na patriots, but we don't they na APC, na terrorist. Sorry, we don't they na SLPP, na terrorist. That's what you're saying. Mr. President, stop this. We have to stop this. We respect you, you are president, but come on, if we respect you, respect the country, respect the people, respect the laws of the land, respect your constitutional mandate. The Constitution of Sierra Leone made it abundantly clear. Say it's a duty upon a legal duty, because anything that is enshrined in that constitution is sacrosanct. Say we all for make sure say we help for build the good image of Sierra Leone in and outside of Sierra Leone. But you are going to that. Who are you trying to impress? You think these people don't know? They have the biggest snooping capability in the world. The phone where they use, Mr. President, then they listen to you. As long as you use digital logarithm for communicate, Mr. President, these people understand what you're doing. And even the things the way they talk of communication, they know about this. These people, you cannot challenge them. All those institutions where they see, so American Embassy, the British High Commission, do you know what the capability will get under? Do you know how many staff they will employ? We're not there within the premises of the embassies, within our communities that we kind of embedded there. This is what they do. For them, information is power. So you can't fool anybody. Own up to it, not happen. And just like what Solomon Jamiru say, they will move on. And finally, to my APC comrades. So in some committee, we know say we don't make success system. We don't give we the rules they want to put together. We elect some people into certain positions them, and we win the by-election 056. We get good things in our belts. But the primary function we actually led to the 21 committee, there's a stalemate. If we take the message of Honorable AKK as gospel truth, and he's got no reason for lie, and besides, even those exchanges don't you say all is not rosy in the APC. And we are look what's happening in the country. We don't want to repeat to this. Don't test the resolve of the membership of the APC. Trust me, we already know. Even if we're from fun, I make you tell us say, we the diaspora, forget about the money we send. We not forget about the knowledge we send. We also have what they call a political we get a political capital in the country. We have people that are listening to us. Don't make us look like fools. Don't make the people of Sierra Leone look like fools. Don't make the membership, the grassroots, look like fools. It's the interest of the APC. I want to thank everybody we deal with me tonight, and they continue for asking kindly for them to share this program. They go far and wide. It's been the longest program, 3.5. Oh my God, it's been long, but we're doing this for this. Imagine if now we place this nearly 4 hours and they make big money. This what I'm doing is pro bono. I am not crazy. They say charities begins at home. If we are talking about the APC, because APC now in the waiting come 2023, nothing not the disturb we. President Biodong actually a campaign for we, but it's not a state of license. We have to make some good moves them and make good decisions them so that we're able to make the next president in state house come 2023 by God in power be a person from the APC. But this can only happen if we get harmony in the APC party. By God in power, would God Mark say it happen? Would God Mark say it will be flag bearer? No matter what you do, you know what they do. I have a friend, and I know Ambassador Almami will attest to this. This man, a young man, late now, may so rest in peace. The reason why we bring them examples now for let you know, say no matter what you do on planet Earth, God gets your own plan. Sayo Mara, una we de Bombali, Sayo Mara una noam from Kwenadugu. It don't even actually reach to the point of a deputy regional chairman. Imagine a young man. And this was the man where be a pole position. If he be then at the wall, that's by elections we didn't do for the district council. Now, in people, I know this, I know issues. I know the issues. Through the side of Momo Konse, Sayo Mara na forget some. When God Max says Sayo Mara, no the reach that side, he only stop as a deputy regional chairman for Northern region. Unfortunately, he involved in a tragic accident with Momo Konse and Alankuma. Alankuma, I don't know if it's the PRO or something like that, or the organizing secretary in that region there. So this is telling you, waiting God don't mark for you, you cannot force it. Beyond this, Abes is gone. Kaba don't go. We get plenty of people who don't die in the UKI and other areas them. I think if I reach that side, now I bring the court system down. You guys have been fantastic for deals we all through this journey tonight, for make sure that we continue, for put messages them where we actually unite we. I tell you, thank you, Mina Abubakar Kagbo, we now na host na the monologue program where they call Everyday Politics, where they come out from the APC UKI online TV platform every Thursday from 8 p.m. London and 7 p.m. Sierra Leone. I thank you. God bless you all. I want to continue for help you for share this. And this is where I stop. A very good night to everybody.